Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Toonkind at D&D. This is another 12 FPS, and I'm going to be one of your co-hosts for today, Spec or Spectral Haunts, playing one private investigator, Grimtone. And joining me is the wonderful, the lovely. Please take a moment to appreciate this title card because it was drawn by them, my very talented and kind friend.
Your very blushy friend who is now dead. Hi. I'm Gail. I'm Gail, otherwise known as Whirlwind Gail. Just call me Gail. I'm also here, and I'm gonna be playing a he who funny little plague with skin named Yu Audiens. Actually, he barely even has skin anymore, but that's fine. Oh, right. We should probably tell them the trigger warnings for this one. Just
Oh, yeah.
just off the top.
Do you want me to read them, or do you want to?
I'm pulling them up now.
Okay, sweet.
They're in here somewhere. Right. So, by the Xerox server standards, this one is likely to be rated explicit. We are. It could very well end up, just chill and friendly. Given the two characters involved and what they might talk about, that is unlikely. So E rating, and content warnings for chronic illness, sickness, unhealthy coping mechanisms, body horror, depression, anxiety, self-loathing, lack of control of one's actions, including forced answering and compliance, contemplation of fate and destiny and doom, all that jazz in a bag of cheese. I think that should cover it. Are our asses covered?
Yeah.
Just please.
Once again, it is these two, so if any unexpected content warnings do come up, we will state them as a warning.
Yeah. Just please, self-care. Care your brain. Take care of your brain. There is no harm in not listening to one of many silly he who funny D&D games.
Yeah.
If the particular brand of silly is going to fuck you up, don't. Maybe don't. Maybe take care of yourself.
Self-care is highly important.
Indeed. Just care your brain. We love you guys. Past, present, future, we love you guys. That being said, our asses are covered. Time for chaos.
Do you want me to start?
You said you would.
I meant the intro. I can actually start the actual talking, though. I could do that. Hi, I'm so here, everyone. Totally not embodying my character a bit too much.
You are so valid.
Very likely, Tome would have been... He probably would have sent a semi-warning to you.
Mm-hmm.
In the form of, hi, hello, that was too high. Hi, hello, I will be coming over later. It was not a question.
Yeah, no, it wasn't, and I actually have to roll a thing. To see if he actually got that message. My sweet boy, what do I roll to see if you were awake?
How bad were the eepies?
How bad were the eepies and or the laying in the bathtub staring at the ceiling? I think that would be probably either a con or a whiz.
Con would be eepies, whiz would be bathtub.
Let's go with con, and it's not good, Chief. That's a 4.
Yep, you were passed out.
Yeah. He might.
About to be
He might still be asleep.
Well, not gonna be for long. Tome walks up to the door and does pause for a second because there's a footprint on the door, and I'm gonna roll it. There's a little intelligence to see if we can figure out what who that boot print belongs to.
Yeah, Tome,
Um,
you... Actually, do you mind if I give you a little bit of description?
yes, go ahead.
So, Tome, you probably got Yu's address from Moria, because I don't think you've ever been here before.
He is not.
Um, and it's a fairly, standard kind of nondescript brick apartment building. Um, the lady at the counter just sort of greets you with a little wave as you come in. She kind of just assumes you're here to see someone. Um, and you take the elevator, because I assume we have elevators in Toonkind, up to Yu's floor.
Accessibility.
Up to Yu's floor, and again, this whole place seems fairly normal, but roll me perception as you approach the door.
Persepi?
Yes, roll me Percepi. Just a preliminary Percepi.
He got lower than his usual.
Oh, pat.
And no, I'm so sad for him. You're gonna make so much fun of him in about 5 seconds.
Yes. The absolute tragedy. That is a 22 on the dice.
I love his modifier. This man was made for one skill.
Yeah, so Yu's door is at the end of the hallway. And as you approach it, something is off. You can't fully place it at first because it's a very, very subtle shift. But when you pinpoint it, it stands out, and it's really kind of weird because the lights in this hallway are all, that older style of light. They're not LEDs, they're fluorescence. And incandescence. And they give off that familiar, golden electric light. So it's a little weird because, yes, the door and the door frame, the door frame is white and the wall around it is white. But the door frame is shaded differently than the walls around it, because the walls around it have a sort of brownish shading to them. The door frame is shaded in gray.
Tome doesn't like that. He kind of frowns and he reaches forward to gently touch the door to see if anything happens.
As you approach it, it's a bit like in a small space around where you set your hand, the shading returns to normal and then gets more saturated than the rest of the world.
That is concerning. Okay. Focus, Tome.
And then you see the boot print.
Oh, Jubilee. Okay.
That is very distinctly the boot print of one particular bird boy.
Okay, why? I'll have to tell him to come here and clean that up. Okay.
You got a 21 on that check. You can tell it's not a marking on the door. It is at this point. It has clearly been kicked open at so many points that it is straight up impressed into the wood. There is a Juby boot-shaped dent in the door.
I hope he knows woodworking so that he can fix this. Okay. All right. Okay. boot print. That's at least normal. Well, normal for any place at Jubilee. The color is not, though. And he's going to kind of pause before he is going to cast detect magic on the area.
Okay. How to explain this?
You put a detective in the...
I put a detective in front of something strange. I don't know what I expected here. How do words? So, with detect magic, you can tell the space that this effect is hitting, which is that it is very, very specifically concentrated to the door and what's beyond it. It is almost like it is being intentionally restrained from everything outside the door.
Concerning. Okay. Notable sense of external, which means it's probably internal. I'm gonna roll the history, see if he remembers why Yu's been quarantining so much. It's above average. And he kind of frowns, and I'm guessing with a 14, what he can mostly just remember is related to the overblot somewhat.
Yeah, basically with a 14, what you can remember is, oh yeah, this thing is transmitted by touch, and it's probably, it's probably being intentionally kept away from where it can jump to another person.
Tom kind of frowns at that as he looks at that, and then kind of looks at how it kind of moved away from his hand. Okay. Concerning. I am glad I decided to do this. All right. Okay, Tom. Deep breaths. You gotta walk in there. You're going to check on you. You're going to apologize. And then you're going to offer your help. 3 steps, Tom. You can do 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Here I go. And he's going to kind of give a knock on the door.
And I need to roll the Percepi to see... Does an 11 make it? Does an 11 make it enough for you to wake up? I'm going to say yes, because it's above a 10. I think it was a 50-50 shot as to whether he woke up. 11 just means he's a little bit slow on it, but there's kind of a startled yelp from somewhere a bit deeper inside the building, and then be right there, and it goes quiet for a minute. Unlike what usually happens when you gets visitors, there's no toonish sounds of fumbling and tripping over furniture and, significant yowling cat, but instead it's very, very quiet. And then there is the sound of a couple of locks being undone inside. And Yu Aodien's answers the door. Sorry, I was asleep. How can I...
Hello, Yu. I think we should talk. You're not in trouble before you worry.
No. Is everyone else okay? No one's relapsed or anything, right?
No, nothing like that. Tome is probably less than a couple of weeks away, just after, at most, like a week or 2 post-prof. Tome voice, okay, that's a little, But no, he's just like, no, nothing like that.
Actually, you would probably bring that up and just be like, and the professor, have you guys found him yet?
Oh, yes, he's, and there's kind of a soft smile. He is fully recovered. He bounces back quite fast, I'll admit. Or, well, it's recovered physically. A little tired, but,
That's to be expected from what I heard. Oh, thank every star in heaven. Uh,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Do you want to come in?
If you would not mind.
Of course not. And you will undo one last slide latch and open the door the rest of the way for Tome to come in with a sort of, the typical bow gesture for someone to enter.
How tall is the doorway? Very important question.
Average doorway height?
Tome has to duck to go in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry about the door. I didn't build it, but it really
Oh,
seems
no,
like a bit of an oversight.
no, it's quite normal for me. Well, a lot of tunes can be tall. Majority do tend to max out at around 6'5". I am an exception to the rule, I have found.
Yeah, the standard for tunes seems to be no middle sliders. Um,
Exactly.
uh, I'd offer you coffee, but I don't keep any in the house. Do you tea, hot chocolate?
Either is good. I've had to drink multiple thanks to the boys. Leo has a aversion to coffee in the house. So
Yeah.
whenever I visit there, I don't get any.
Sorry, I'd make you some if I could, but I can't keep it around.
Oh,
I'm allergic. Um,
no need to apologize. Absolutely not.
you kind of nods and sort of gestures and says, "Feel free to make yourself comfortable. There's couches around the little half wall there. I'll put some hot chocolate on. Um, and Tome, do me a favor. Roll perception one more time. It is a very
Okay.
low It is a very low DC.
I'm really hoping his modifier saves him in that sense.
I,
Sorry, that was supposed to be a 4 plus.
yeah, no, that fucking makes it. Yeah, the DC was 5.
Oh, yeah. He would have automatically that.
So you know that effect I mentioned that's on the door?
Mm-hmm.
This is definitely where it's coming from, because as you step in, walking in here, the color scaling was very, normal, natural, realistic colors. There is almost no color in here. It is completely grayscale, black and white, with the exception of a few small details, like, for example, a spice rack on the counter next to the stove that is full of a bunch of bottles that glow in very, very bright colors, and a little orange tree next to the trash can, the oranges on which are bright, bright orange. But the leaves are, again, grayscale, black and white, monochrome. And the only other points of color are Yu's eyes, which are a bright shade of a sort of, well, depending on how well you roll on a certain history roll, they could be familiar. A sort of sickly shade of yellow. And a very tight aura or bubble around you specifically, Tome.
Can I make that history roll?
Go ahead.
Okay.
15.
It's okay if not.
You know it feels familiar. You can't place where.
Nods, 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 nods.
But yeah, aside from that, the only color in the room is this very tight bubble almost around you. This very you as in Tome, not you as in the character,
Yeah.
of very hyper saturated color. It's a little weird because where you step and where you move to, there is the color floods it back in so fast that the wood on the floor goes from brown to red. And
Hmm.
the linens in on top of the cabinet go from white to yellow.
Tome is going to actually walk over to the plant and kind of place his hand on a leaf.
And the entire plant kind of floods with a very, very vivid emerald green in all of its leaves.
You,
Huh?
um, this may seem like an obvious answer, but how are you doing?
As well as I can be under the circumstances, I guess.
Okay. And mentally, specifically.
That's probably something it's safer not to ask about.
Well, I figured it can't be good considering the state of your environment.
And he kind of looks around and says, "Yeah, it's gotten a little messy. Sorry
Oh,
if I'd
no,
known you
not
were
referring to
coming,
that.
I would have cleaned up."
No, I'm referring to the color you.
The color?
Well, lack of, I guess. And he kind of frowns and tilts his head. You do realize there's no color in your apartment, right?
He kind of looks around and then looks back at you confused. Just, I'm sorry. I think you might be seeing something I'm not. It looks the same as it always does.
Does it always look black and white to you?
No?
Huh.
What do you mean black and white?
Well, I mean, minus wherever I seem to step. And he kind of waves his hand against some of the wood to kind of verify his theory as he does that.
Mm-hmm.
Your apartment, and specifically your apartment, is completely, well, black and white.
Huh.
Normally, a sign like this is, would, I would assume, some form of intense depression from a tune combined with a high level of empathy.
Mm, I'm sorry. I don't. I don't know why it would be doing that.
No, don't apologize. It's
You kind of
you.
shakes his head and walks over to the refrigerator, pulls out a couple of different things, and then grabs a little glass bottle of something that is a very bright shade of blue, which he quickly uncorks and swallows down. Um, and he shakes his head and said, "Did that fix it?"
Did it?
No.
Tom kind of shakes his head. No.
Okay.
You? I'm going to approach you now, okay?
All right.
Tom's going to walk towards you and try and place a hand on his shoulder.
Um, how do I roll this? It's clearly not a conscious action, but as Tome gets closer, even though you was warned, he seems to subconsciously try and move away, and when he catches himself, he intentionally holds himself very, very still. Um, and when Tome sets a hand on his shoulder, the color doesn't quite come back. It's. You know when you try to put the ends of two magnets together and they kind of repel each other?
Yeah?
whatever desaturation effect is coming from you is trying to push away whatever the colorful aura around Tome is. Um,
Hmm.
and when Tome sets his hand on Yu's shoulder, that actually does get a flinch in it. Wait, you should be careful.
It's. I'm wearing gloves. It'll be all right.
That didn't help before.
You. Let me help you, okay? And Tom's actually going to move to. He's going to pause before he frowns. Can I just do a general inspection? I'm no doctor, but I'm sorry, and I can get to what I was going to talk about when I originally came here first, but I'm highly concerned.
I, um, sure?
Sorry, hmm.
No, it's okay.
Tone's going to then move to kind of I'm laughing at him. I'm sorry. Brush Yu's hair out of the way and kind of cup his cheek before tilting his chin up, and he's gonna kind of basically look at Yu's face and specifically the eyes because they were familiar,
Mm-hmm.
and they're also the only color on you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are a bright shade of a sort of sickly, slightly greenish yellow. Um, and they are also very, very, very simplified from the last time these two characters interacted. Because the last
Hmm.
time you and Tome interacted, you very much looked like a more detailed anime Tezuka Naden type tune.
Yeah.
Now, his design is simplified almost to that of a rubber hose, with no visible whites to his eyes, only a few lines to sort of suggest the shape of them, and the irises being the familiar plain circle pie cut shape.
Tome kind of frowns and his like the little wrinkles in his face deepen as he kind of moves to brush more of the hair away so they can kind of look Yu's face over and kind of tilt it. You, may I ask, what kind of tune are you?
Uh, your guess is probably as good as mine. I wasn't a tune originally, so I don't know.
Did
Uh,
Tone know this
I
important question?
I don't think so.
Tone kind of blinks twice. What do you mean? What do you mean wasn't originally a tune?
Uh, I was originally human. Human, then archetype, then tune. Uh, Translative transmutation. That was the explanation I was given. Uh,
God.
Sorry.
Okay. No, do not apologize to me. Um, okay, this explains why you didn't understand the importance of a black and white room. And Tome kind of takes one hand to pinch the bridge of his nose. Okay. Okay. Gods. This is definitely not what I was expecting when I came over here.
I,
Um, no, don't apologize. It.
you you claps his mouth shut.
Okay. Why don't we sit down?
Um, I was gonna make hot chocolate.
Oh, yeah, you can do that if you want. Sorry, I'm.
No, it's okay. You don't have to apologize. I'll I can do this and talk at the same time.
Okay, good. Well, and Tome kind of steps back so that the other can make the hot chocolate as he kind of rocks on his heels slightly.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you will pull like a bottle of heavy cream and milk and whatnot out of the fridge, along with a bar of dark chocolate. Grab some cocoa powder out of the pantry and a couple of spices out of a different spice rack from the one that has all of the colors in it. Um, and
Hmm.
also a big soup pot looking thing from a cabinet over the stove, and start making hot cocoa.
Okay. All right. Okay. Where do I even begin? So you don't know for sure how you became a toon, and you don't know what kind of toon you are?
No, sorry.
No need to apologize. Genuine. Um, I'm making sure I have all the facts of the case, the situation.
Ah, yeah, that's fair. I can tell you whatever I know, and probably some things that I don't.
Excuse me?
Why did I say that? I have. I can know things sometimes that I shouldn't. We don't know why it happens. There are theories, but I,
Hmm.
I don't know what I know and what I don't. So I'll try to answer any questions you have.
Okay. Well, I guess that leads into a different question, but it's a good one to go into. How well is your memory?
My memory? Um, well, aside from the fact that I recently found out it's been severely tampered with, I assume it's all right.
Okay. Do details become extremely blurry after a couple of weeks pass?
Depends on the context. Uh, if I'm if I'm asleep, then obviously I don't remember what happens when I've been asleep for a few weeks. Um,
A-
if I'm
Asleep for a few weeks?
yeah, I I lose track of time sometimes, and I keep going far, far beyond when I should. And when something pulls me out of it, I get a few hours of being awake before everything crashes down around me, and then I don't get a choice. I'm asleep for the next week or two. It's
Hmm.
I'd say it's fine, but that's not supposed to happen. But then again, that's the story of my life.
Sorry, that's another question. Okay. You weren't originally a toon,
Mm-mm.
but do you know of trying to think of how the best to word this. Any roles you've fallen into recently?
Tome, roll insight. Because Yu gets a very quiet and far away look on his face and just kind of gives a half hearted laugh and says, "Yeah, I'm a monster."
Okay, I'm rolling. That's a 19.
Oh boy. So
The
there
stealth modifiers, my beloved.
there is so much behind that statement. Um it very much rings of a realization that you have in the aftermath of an existential crisis. Um Yeah, he just kind of smiles and says, "Yeah, I'm a monster." And he says it with such certainty and such detachment that it hmm, the best way I can describe it is it that lack of color around the room sharpens.
Mm-hmm.
and the shadows get deeper.
Okay.
And the light becomes a lot more glaring.
Okay. Okay. Hmm.
Sorry, that.
No, no. No need to apologize.
No, it's just, that's nonsense. I. No,
Are you
I.
saying it nonsense because that's how you feel you should say? Or do you actually think it's nonsense? I'm a detective. There's no use lying to me.
It should be nonsense. I'll put it that way.
So you do believe it. Okay. Well, I can reassure you that that's not true. However, I know that when one believes something, reassurance really has no effect on you. All right, then. Hmm.
Sorry. Reassurance doesn't do much for, you know, as many years as
Yeah.
I've had of narrative study.
Yes.
But
I
it should be nonsense because I'm a person. People
a
don't
monster.
people don't fall into roles like that. That's not how it's supposed to work. Or that wasn't how it
Toons
worked
do.
before.
Toons do.
Yeah.
That's an important part here. You are no longer held by the same rules you were before. You have a bunch of new ones.
And no
And I'm
one has been
starting to
able to tell me
realize,
what they are. uh,
well, I guess I could start with a couple. Especially because you deserve to know, and well, he kind of cracks a small smile. Few people have a deep understanding of Toons and their roles as much as I do. Okay.
any
Well,
frame of
Toons,
reference will be useful.
that I can definitely provide. Any Toon, whenever they're born, Toons, as you know, were heavily influenced by the plot, by story.
Right, you mentioned
Your
that
belief,
before.
yes, your belief in this will depend. I am what is considered well, I guess, highly superstitious Toon. I put a lot of faith into the plot in the universe that it has over us. Other people do not view it as that powerful. I know the boys, minus Jubilee, but Jubilee even less so nowadays, don't see the plot as a highly controlling thing. Minami herself even has dropped that idea. And then a lot of non-Toons also don't view it with much thought. I know Professor Moria and Azumi Rada don't really give it much power. However, I will be speaking to you from the point of someone who is highly superstitious in this fact. I will admit my bias in the beginning of this conversation and would encourage you to have at least some talk outside of myself in my biased point of view afterwards. If you wouldn't mind, of course. I figured you'd want to at least know some knowledge.
I I'd rather be I'd rather have multiple perspectives to draw from.
All right, then. In that case, we'll start generally. Toons are beings controlled, influenced, guided by the plot story. It depends on who you ask. Depends on your belief in that.
Like archetypes back in the mirror.
Explain these archetypes, and I can answer that definitely.
Archetypes are people, but they're people who have a destiny that's more designed than others. I was an archetype there, which is probably why I got translated to a Toon here, because archetypes are people who live by the law of story rather than the law of reality.
Yes, well, then yes, like that. Some Toons do have predestined destinies. Supposedly not. Like I said, it's
Controversial
highly
topic.
situational. Exactly. It depends on how much control you like to believe you have in your own life. While others believe that they have no destiny at all for better or worse. This is the important basis of things. The reason I was asking you about roles and everything is because, well, depending on your role could affect things a lot. Could affect how the world treats you, at least in my opinion. And also, depending on what kind of toon, would affect how you look. The reason that's important is, well, you've had a design change since I last saw you, which is not uncommon, but it's not normally to the extent you've experienced right now.
Yeah,
I've only
other
seen it
people have brought that up.
once before, I'll be honest.
Twice. Remember?
Twice?
We've
I meant
spoken
your
twice.
design. I meant your design change shift. I've only seen something like it once before.
Oh.
Yes, I do remember our two previous, and that's actually why I originally came here. I wanted to apologize for my behavior in those times.
Oh, you don't need to apologize. I totally get it. I would have reacted the same. Honestly, I'm... You have nothing to apologize for. If I were in your shoes, I would have punched me.
Well, I have recently learned that my gut reaction of hostility isn't always the best one.
No, but it's there for a reason.
Yes, but it was not warranted in your case, and for that reason I apologize.
Well, I appreciate your apology, but you don't need to give it. You had no way of knowing. Hell.
Similar to how you don't need to be apologizing to me.
Agree to disagree on that. And you will pick up one of the knives that he's got in a knife block and start chopping up the chocolate that he has while the milk simmers on the stove.
Okay. Well, yes, either way, as I was saying, it's not often that a toon changes styles to that extent. Design changes are notable. You've probably noticed them in our time alone between myself. It happens with a toon, especially a toon going through an intense amount of change in their life.
Mm-hmm.
But style changes are, well, they're less common. No matter how much a toon changes, unless there's some outside force affecting it, they always keep a few base rules. For example, and he kind of flexes his fingers as he kind of pushes his arms out. No matter what, my style keeps me quite tall and lanky. It relates to my existence as a worn toon.
Mm-hmm.
I'm meant to be fast, quick, sometimes persuasive. Not always the best at that part, but
Well,
yes.
there are multiple ways to persuade someone.
True.
You're very capable of being intimidating, if that's any comfort. And he just gives, like, he says that, and then there's a look on his face, and is just like, I really need to learn to keep my mouth shut. I'm sorry.
Nope. I would rather you be honest. I am aware that. Trust me, you cannot say anything that will truly hurt me, you. You don't live as long as I do and not develop at least some immunity to words.
Well, I wouldn't want to hurt you to begin with.
Well, I never assumed you wanted to. The thing about words is, a lot of times, any pain they cause is unconscious. Yeah, trust me, I would probably be able to tell if you were actually trying to upset me.
Well, sorry anyway.
Well, your apology is accepted.
Thank you.
Of course. Anyways, as I was saying, that's concerning. The fact that everything is black and white is concerning because, well, a toon has color, and unless they are born as a monochrome toon, specifically of the black and white variation, they will only lose color when they are extremely and I mean extremely upset. As in someone they know has died. Or is on the verge of death. Now, depending on the emotional intensity of a toon, it can happen more often. For example, I myself am a little bit more
Reactive?
likely. Yes, well, reactive's a much nicer way to put it than I could. And I am more likely to develop a black and white color scheme, though that is also partially probably because of my Nor history.
He tilts his head in confusion.
Oh, I spent about a year or two as a Nor detective.
Oh.
Noir.
Oh, that sounds intense.
It was an experience, but no need to worry about my backstory. It's a lot, considering my age.
Of course. My bad, I didn't mean to pry.
Oh, no, it's something that comes up often.
I've read some of the case files that you have at the office, or the ones that you've shared with us. They're interesting.
Yes,
you do good work.
He kind of pauses and his serious explaining kind of stops as he kind of stutters slightly, and you see a little bit of pink dust his cheek as like the serious part drops slightly. Thank you.
Of course. It's important to acknowledge when people are successful. Otherwise, they tend to devalue their successes and not realize how much good they've done for others. That can be a really bad feeling.
I'm gonna make 2 rolls here. Okay. All right. Wisdom and deception.
Do you want me to roll contesting insight?
If you would like.
Let me roll a d2 to see if... Because he kind of just said that offhandedly. Yeah, no, he's not gonna roll insight. He said that a bit offhandedly.
I'm so concerned for your boy.
It's the unofficial school counselor in him. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Well, I agree. Do you acknowledge your own accomplishments, Yuu?
Well, I do my best.
Well, that's all that can be asked of people. As I was saying, the color change is notable because that's why I asked how you were doing. For it to be this intense would imply, well, a level of sadness, despair, or hatred. Not necessarily directed at someone else. And he kind of gives you a long look.
I catch your drift. Well, what can I say? Before I fell asleep last, I was really worried. One of my old classmates charged through the streets as a rampaging tiger and then called me in a panic, and it turned out that he had kidnapped someone who I very much respect and admire and appreciate, and oh my god, I threatened to kill him. I didn't do it, but I threatened to poison him. Oh my god, what the fuck is wrong with me? Okay, calm down.
Yes, take a deep breath. Honestly, that's an intelligence. I don't think he connects the dots. First of all, I can understand that. I had a very similar reaction when somebody I knew got kidnapped recently. The professor, specifically, as you know.
Yeah, no, it's the same case.
It's
I gave all the
oh,
information that I got to Minami,
okay.
but
Well, thank you.
that's why I was so fucking scared.
Yeah, no, he's all right. Um,
I'm glad, really.
yeah,
I wish I could have
he's
done more to help.
you did plenty more than I can express, and his face is genuine as he says that. Without the information, and he kind of gently rubs his shoulder. Things could have ended a lot worse. It helped people enter prepared.
Can I actually roll an insight on Tome?
Go ahead.
Um, you just wants to see how he's doing. That's a 25.
Yeah, that beats his earlier deception. Um,
It's just a sort of
he
general, how is this guy doing? How can I help this person?
Tome looks very serious at the moment, and his gaze is very focused. The main thing to note are two things. One, he kind of winced a little when he rubbed his shoulder, and then two, his eyes are slightly desaturated.
Hmm. Okay, in that case, you will pause, and then he will go back to the refrigerator and grab a another glass of that blue stuff. But instead of drinking it himself this time, he will hand it to Tome. Here, if you're in any sort of pain, this should help.
I and his gaze kind of softens. Okay, thank you.
Of course.
And he takes it and he drinks it.
What is a drink that Tome would associate with uh like healing or comfort and safety?
It's specifically the kind of coffee that. Oh, okay. Not. He changed his answer than what I was expecting it to be. Um, it's a very overly sweet coffee. Actually, it's not bitter. In fact, it's heavily mixed with hot chocolate and sugar. It has an almost cinnamon taste to it.
Mm-hmm. And this tastes and feels exactly like that. It's a little uncanny.
Tome kind of blinks and pauses, and you actually see his eyes widen at that. What kind of potion is this, you?
Um, it's a combination of magical antiseptic and painkiller, um, and a little bit of injury healing.
Where does the taste come from?
Associations. For me, it tastes like, well, what I'm making right now. But for other people, it'll taste like whatever taste you associate with something that makes you feel better when you're really, really feeling miserable.
Huh. Interesting. Okay. And he kind of places it down. I'm gonna roll a deception real quick. Okay, I'm sorry. And he places it down very calmly.
Mm-hmm. You kind of says it. Mirror magic or mirror potion making is very heavy on symbolic connections and associations and sympathetic magic, which happens to be something I'm apparently decent at. It
Well,
it
it's a good
uses
thing to have. Sorry.
it uses your positive associations to heal you.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think I've covered the important ones, at least as they relate to you. The importance of your design change, of your answer for the role, and, well, for the color situation. Though I can't figure out why you can't see it. Normally toons, no matter how much they're out of it, can at least notice their own color shift, especially if it's affecting the environment around them.
No, I'm sorry. I genuinely can't see whatever it is you're talking about. It looks
Hmm.
normal to me.
Can I try something? Whirl.
That depends on the something.
If Tome was to set up a telepathic communication and have you see through his eyes, would that work?
It would work. It would be dangerous.
Would you stop me?
I would not stop you. I would say we'd need to add an extra trigger warning.
I'm okay adding an extra trigger warning. Because
Um,
Tome is stupid.
it would need an extra trigger warning for... God, I don't even know. Because I'm assuming a telepathic link goes both ways.
It does.
Yeah,
I will say Tome will ask you before he does this.
Um, see, the thing that I'm worried about is, oh god, what happens when Tome hears the blot in Yu's head?
There's a 50-50, I'm going to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
There's a 50-50 he pulls away instantly and starts talking.
Mm-hmm.
And a 50 he casts detect thoughts and goes straight in there.
Okay, well, if you're okay with that 50-50, I am okay with this.
I'm okay with it. As long as it won't break or kill one of them, I'm pretty good.
No, it won't break... It won't break anyone, because Yu is not allowed to overblot yet. So you should be good.
Okay, I wanted to make sure neither, because Tome should not break or die, but I want to make sure you is not going to break or die, because I feel really bad if I got in 1 FPS with you and I already broke him.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm like, I'd feel really bad, I won't lie.
You will be fine. Both you and the character will be fine. And Tome
Okay.
will also be fine, because I'm not gonna make it try to jump to Tome. I don't think. I think, for some reason, Tome is a bad taste to it.
I'm like, if it does, we can talk about that afterwards. That's a later problem.
Yeah.
That's future problem. Current problem. Tome is concerned. Tome kind of frowns and he just said, "You, I'm going to ask, because I've been informed I need to ask before I do this. Would you mind if well, if I connected our thoughts so that you can see what I'm seeing right now?"
That's a thing that's possible.
Yes. Tome voice, don't ask why.
No, you just kind of mutters, I swear, magical worlds are so strange. And, there's a brief moment where he's quiet, and then he kind of just shrugs and says, sure.
All right, then. And Tome is going to use his magic item to set up a telepathic communication. He does not need to make a wisdom save because he is not yet casting detect thoughts. He is just setting up a telepathic communication.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Which technically the telepathic communication means that Tome, if I remember correctly, it means that Tome can only receive messages. He's not reading the surface thoughts yet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let me make sure. Okay, yeah. A creature without telepathy can receive and respond to telepathic messages, but cannot initiate or terminate a telepathic communication.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna lead up to the possible uh-ohs. Okay. And Tome does not actually say this out loud. You actually hear this in his head. Can you hear me?
Oh, that is unsettling. Yeah, yeah, hello.
Hello. Sorry, it's a lot to get used to. Trust me, I understand. Okay, I am going to open my eyes and basically try and think so intently about what I'm seeing so that you may see it, okay?
Right. Okay.
And Tome is going to open his eyes and look at the world around him and kind of just like telepathically communicate that visual to you.
Okay, and I need to roll a whiz save, because he's not supposed to see this.
Oh, sisters.
Yeah, oh yes. Fuck. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
That's an 8.
Uh-oh.
That's an at 1 on the dice, plus 7. That's an 8.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What happens?
Okay, so, hey, Tome, how close are you paying attention to Yu's reaction?
Highly.
So he catches it when there is a sudden burst of black lines that go across Yu's face over his eyes, a bit like a mask. This isn't the first time it's happened to you, but it is the first time it's happened when Tome's been around. And you very, very quickly slides the knife that he was using across the counter, and it clatters into the sink. And he is grabbing onto the edge of the counter. And I think this is where...
Tome is going to rush forward to try and support you.
I think this is where that, telepathic communication might be dangerous thing comes in.
Yeah.
Because there is a voice that is not Yu's in his head. And does Tome speak Sylvan?
He does not.
Okay, so it sounds... How do I explain? It sounds like... See, I have a reference for what this sounds like, but I don't know if either you, Spec, or Tome has this reference. Do either of you know what a glass harp sounds like?
I am 99% sure, but let me look it up. Considering I'm not recording, I can actually listen to that real quick.
Specifically, an harmonica.
Harmonica or harmonica?
Harmonica. It can also be called a glass harmonica, but it's specifically the glass harmonica,
Okay, I found
glass
it.
harmonium, bowl organ, hydrocrystalphone, or simply the harmonica or harmonica.
Okay, I found it. I'm listening real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's so pretty. I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
How dare something so horrible be that pretty?
Mm-hmm. So, a little known fact. Well, actually, would Tome have any reference for this? For this instrument?
He would not.
Ah, okay. Because if you did, I would have you roll a history.
I can roll a history to see if he's ever run across one in his case, but it's not something I can guarantee.
Yeah. He might have run across one by reputation, maybe.
Holy shit, Tome.
I'm guessing that's good. Yeah, okay. Tome, you have never encountered an harmonica in person, but you've heard enough about them to recognize the sound, because it is very sharply pitched and very strange in that it sounds beautiful and haunting and hollow all at once. But this is very, very discordant notes, and it brings to mind something that you maybe learned on a case about, which is that the glass harmonica has a reputation. It is known as an instrument associated with madness and death because, and this is where we put in a little trigger warning, because the history of the glass harmonica does actually include mentions of suicide, so mind your mental health. There have been records of people who practice with this instrument for long enough being driven to madness until eventually they kill themselves. Or people who have heard it and lost their minds. And I imagine in Einquell that's probably even more intense, because the more of a reputation something builds, the more of a story it has, and the more dangerous it becomes in Einquell. And with... no, that's a history. If you would like, you can roll me an insight.
Yeah, sorry, I spec am processing this. I did not know this about the instrument.
Yeah!
Insert nervous laughter.
That bitch haunted!
Okay, very good insight as well.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, I look at Tome's... Okay, I used the wrong button.
That's you.
Okay, there you go. I'm not... Okay, well, please note what time it is on the recording and put it in the chat in the FPS roll zone so that we can add a little note in the thing. Be like, hey, once you heard this, you can skip here for safety.
1 hour, 5 minutes would be when
Sweet.
the thing gets mentioned.
Sweet. So we can add a little thing in the notes, be like, hey, be like above everything else, be like, hey, at one blah 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 blah, this is mentioned, blah 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 blah. Like, skip a minute, you're good.
Mm-hmm.
We're so good at this.
We're so great at this. But yeah,
so great at this.
With that 27, you can insight this, and you recognize this as this is another language. This is Sylvan. Not any Sylvan that you've heard spoken on Einquell, but this is Sylvan. And this is very, very angry Sylvan, or very... It sounds like someone being yelled at.
Tome just kind of steadies his stance, and I did check, and he does not have anything that allows him to understand. Technically, if he had known this ahead of time, wait, no, he couldn't have. It doesn't give him that. I thought one of his things would allow him to technically have a proficiency in a language, but it's just musical instrument saving throws, artisan tools, and skills. So no. Mm-hmm. He kind of frowns at that. Me genuinely like going through every one of his magic items right now.
He has so many.
He does. Ah. Okay, he doesn't have one. Okay, and he kind of studies his stance. Who are you?
It doesn't respond to him, and you just looks like it. He freezes in place and says, Uriel Morgan Audience, I'm Prefect of Ramshackle, I'm the servant. Fuck. Ow.
You take a deep breath, sit down, you slowly. And Tom kind of helps lower him to the ground. I'm asking permission before I do this. There was a different voice in your head when I went in there.
Yeah, I know.
Who is that?
I'm trying to get it to shut up. That's... same thing as it's been for the last 5 years. It's the fucking ink. It's the fucking blot.
Tom kind of frowns. Okay, give me a second. All right, what do I have? And he kind of starts mentally flipping through all his stuff. Okay. Gods, I need to stop just learning attack magic. Okay. You, with your permission, I would like to be able to go further into your mind.
That's really dangerous, but if that's what you
With your
want to do.
permission. I cannot make you do anything, you.
If that's what you think will help.
I think it might give me an answer. Okay. Okay, which one are... Okay, at least it's not going to affect his saving throws. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Dear good Lord, Tome, please roll good on this. Holy shit! Sorry, Tome passed the DC!
Holy shit! Way to go!
He doesn't take a point of exhaustion!
Way to go, you funky man!
I can add another to his success rate. Because fun fact, his DC drops every 5 successes. So Tome is probably a little surprised when that does not, like, mess him up. But
Honestly, it
he is...
probably helps that you isn't putting up a fight.
Yeah. Tome is now casting Detect Thoughts on you.
Right, remind me how
And
that spell works.
I'm grabbing it real quickly. And specifically... Wait, that's Detect Magic. I clicked on the wrong one. Detect Thoughts. There we go. Doop. Wait, actually, I need to scroll down so that you can see more. Dear God, I'm just going to share this because it's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I am lazy.
Valid. Okay, let's take a look at this. For the duration, you can read the thoughts of certain creatures when you cast the spell. Okay.
He's going to try to use the action to probe deeper.
Okay, what's my wisdom save for that? Actually, wait. Okay, so one of my personal table rules is that you can always intentionally choose to fail.
Yes, that's what I play by.
You're good with that?
I'm good with that.
Then I will intentionally choose to fail this. For lore reasons.
Fair.
Okay, let me read over what the Deeper Thoughts thing does. So, the surface level thoughts that you kind of get before you push deeper is that it's basically just a repeating mantra of be quiet, be quiet, be quiet, be quiet, be quiet, be quiet, be quiet. Interspersed with just off, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off, turn it off. Very much, as you said, he's trying to get whatever this is that's screaming at him to shut up. You push deeper, though. And how do I describe this? Because for a moment, there's nothing at all. For a moment, it's just empty. There is no mind present here. No thoughts to read. Nothing to explore, but there is a line that tethers to something a lot further away. And I'm going to let you choose if Tome decides to follow that.
He will.
Okay. Then I'm going to need you to roll me wisdom.
Okay. Yo, Tome!
Let's go. What'd you get? Nice!
24! Pop off, Monarch!
Pop off your majesty. Okay. Yeah, so you follow this line through this gap, this space where there are no thoughts in there's nothing in that head that thinks, but there is something it is connected to. And Tome, for a second, you feel like you're drowning. And you feel like you are being frozen all over. Like you feel confined and you feel cold and you can't breathe. But you have enough presence in this moment that you are able to push past that and realize that's not me. And because of that, you get the actual internal monologue of fuck, I shouldn't have done that, help! Oh god, I can't breathe, fuck, help!
You, can you hear me?
What? Huh?
Hey, you,
God,
you're
I'm
not
hearing
alone
things,
right
I'm
now.
hearing things.
No, you're not hearing things. It's okay. This is okay.
You're from the dream. How are you here?
The dream?
I'm not asleep right now.
Okay, my name is Private Investigator Grimtone.
I know!
Okay?
I know!
Where do you know me from, besides just the dream?
Nowhere. And there's another wave of that sensation of drowning, and there is a sensation of panic and of fighting against something and the notion of screaming, although thank God you are not present enough in that space to hear the scream.
Important question.
Go ahead.
And you could tell me to stop at any point, because I don't want to break things. Can Tome see anything?
Are his eyes open?
Yes.
Then no. He is seeing what's in front of him, which is... It's funny, after he pushed past that blank space, you went very, very still. Almost vacant.
Okay, well, if nothing's happening, he's gonna close his eyes. So he can focus.
Okay. He closes his eyes, and...
Fuck my man up! Fuck my man!
He sees, for a moment, pitch black. And then there's the feeling of movement, and then glass right in front of them. Right in front of you, right in front of Tome. Solid wall of glass, and two skeletal hands dripping with black ink reach up and try and press against it. But he knows better than to try and push too hard again, because that would be dangerous. That would mean going back under. And
why is that dangerous?
He's finally hearing someone talk to him again. He doesn't want to lose that.
Okay, This does work out, because Tome would have, especially at the screaming, made sure to focus as much as he can on the thoughts, which probably would have included closing eyes. So it's multiple ways. I swear I'm not metagaming.
You are so fine.
me at the jury. I'm innocent. I cry.
You are so valid. Don't worry. I am fine with 90% of metagaming.
Tome kind of just takes a deep breath. Okay, I need you. Explain to me what's going on. Take a deep breath. I'm here, okay?
How are you here?
I am in your brain.
That doesn't make sense. It's just
Okay,
copying me. You shouldn't be able to be here.
but I am. So you're telling me the you out there is not the real you,
It's my body. It's not
but it's not.
me. It's the stupid fucking puppet thing.
Okay, that's. Thank you for telling me that. I can work with that. Does
Sorry,
anybody
sorry.
else know that? No. Don't apologize. You're doing fine, dear. Don't worry. Focus on
It's
my voice, okay? Okay. I'm here
You have
now.
a nice voice.
Thank you. Okay, I'm here. I'm here and I don't plan on leaving right now, okay?
Okay. Okay.
Deep breath.
I can't really do that. There's not enough space.
Fair enough. Just don't breathe too quickly. You'll hyperventilate, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Focus on my voice.
Okay.
I'm gonna help you, okay?
Okay. Okay.
What can you tell me about what's going on? What can you tell me? Not the puppet, you.
I, I'm stuck. I'm stuck, and if I don't keep close to the surface, if I don't keep close to the surface, it's gonna kill me.
Okay, where is this?
I don't under. It's under the ocean. Under. In. You, you've seen the place where this is before, but it's. I don't know how to get here. It's.
That place of the blocks, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
at the
I'm gonna
bottom.
roll in intelligence real quick. He keeps rolling above a 10 on the dice, let alone his modifiers. Dumb. It's freaking me out a little. At least it's only a 16. It's only a 16, I say.
16 is still damn good. What are you trying to
I
know?
know. It's an intelligence. Tome is trying to connect thoughts in that in order to reach this place, someone has to be blotted.
Mm-hmm.
Could he connect those dots?
Um, he can connect that in order to get to this place. Uh, do you mean like somebody has to be infected with blot or someone has to overblot?
Overblot.
Okay. He would recognize that the only time he has ever been to this space has been in the aftermath of an overblot because he doesn't
Okay.
have the context Jubilee does that there are ways of getting here outside.
Well, luckily, he's about to ask a question that will hopefully make you realize his thought process and fix him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and this is you. If someone was the overblot, could they get to you here?
No, you'd have to focus on whoever was overblooded. Otherwise, they'd be in a lot more danger. And
Is there any
once you fix the problem, you have to leave.
other way then?
I'm trying to avoid it. If I went under, then I'd have to overblot, or I'd have to let it eat me up completely, and I don't want to die.
You're not gonna die, you. I promise. Okay? You have my word. I'm not going to let you die.
You promise?
I promise. Okay? And
Okay.
you don't know this, but the thing about Toons is we don't break our promises, okay?
Is that why
I'll
Mom
find a
freaked
way.
out about the pinky promise the other day?
Please. Yes. Pinky promises are on a different level. With a Toon, if you make a promise, it's extremely strong. If you pinky promise, well, if you were to break that promise, for the Toon at least, they would die.
Well, that's not good. That's very not good. Don't do that.
Yes. I'm not making a pinky promise.
I don't think you could anyway. You're not here. Not physically, at least. Or at least I hope you're not. It's a very, very small space.
Okay. Pause real quick for the audience. Tome assumes you die. Because the audience is freaking out on me.
I think the only canon thing that's ever been established is, like, that's why some toons are missing pinkies, but...
I've been told that there's really serious consequences, like the world ends consequences.
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody got on to me for affectionate for Tome's recent pinky promise.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm under that assumption.
And now you is
Either
under
way,
that assumption.
I was informed that it's world-ending consequences. Okay, do not shoot the messenger.
Don't worry, we're all good here. No one's gonna
Okay,
break anything.
I'll have Tome remedy his statement very quick. Okay, well, okay, not die, but it depends, I guess, on what you expect to happen.
Drastic
I personally don't.
consequences.
Yeah, exactly. I personally don't plan on finding out for any of my own pinky promises.
I know that would be a terrible idea.
Okay. Okay. Um okay, but no, you have my word, okay?
Okay.
I'm not going to let you die. I'm going to figure this out. I'm not going to let anybody die, okay?
Okay.
Not you, not anyone else, okay? Well, the only thing I might let die is whatever put you through this, but that'll be less murder and more just negligence on that part. And he kind of gives a small laugh.
Well, wouldn't that be fucking appropriate?
Yeah. No,
It's cold.
I'm here right now. Yes, I'm understand. I would hug you if I could, but sadly I am only here mentally.
Yeah, it's fine. This is the first time I've heard someone else's voice in a while.
Okay. Okay. You mentioned the only way sorry, I'm responding.
You're fine.
um okay. You said the only way to get here is if you overblocked, correct?
That
Is there any other way?
yes, but I it's stupidly fucking dangerous.
Well, we're tunes. I'll be honest, I think people would be concerned if none of us were trying to face danger.
No, I mean, like, it's potential infection dangerous. It's the only other way in here is by you get here by letting the ink hit you in the eyes. If you were to do that and you hadn't been infected before, I don't know what would happen. I don't I've only done it once with Jubilee.
Okay, sorry, real quick. I got validation from the audience. I'm sorry. That was really stressing me that I messed that up.
You're okay, hun. We give you a big hug.
I was so stressed. Okay, continue. I'm so sorry for interrupting the important moment with my panic.
You are so valid, honeybee. Don't even worry. But yeah, you basically just says, I've only done it once, and that was with Jubilee, and that was because his door didn't go away when it was over. There was still something left to fix. And
You.
yeah.
Okay.
No, there was. We sat and we talked, and he seemed to feel better after, I think.
Okay. I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you a question. Okay?
I'll try to answer.
Which would be safer for you? If you were to overblot, or if someone was to come here and get you out?
I don't know. Neither is safe.
Well, of course. Okay. I'm going to ask a question, which
Okay.
may be very stupid of me, but that is on the par for myself. I won't lie. And he kind of gives a small laugh.
Don't sell yourself
How?
short.
I'm not. Don't worry. How would one go about getting the ink in their eye?
I. You could tell me to do it. The me that
Okay.
you know out there.
Okay.
It doesn't have a choice.
Okay. You. I'm going to try that, okay?
Okay.
If you do not hear back from me in this world, I will either come back here mentally or assume it did not work. Okay? I will be okay though.
Promise?
I will not, I promise, I will not allow anything to happen to me. Trust me, I have way, you've only talked twice. I can promise you, I have a lot of people who'd be a lot faster to kill me if I died. You'd have to get in line.
No, I. Just
No, I will be
don't.
safe.
Don't get hurt. Please.
I won't. Okay? And I don't know if you could feel this, but in the real world, Tome would have cupped the puppet's cheeks.
Unfortunately, the puppet can't feel anything anymore.
Weh.
Its nerves got eaten a long time ago.
Weh. In that case, Tome is going to send like a kind of mental warmth to you.
And he can feel the way that is startling and then almost melted into because it has been so long since he's felt anything warm.
Okay, you. I'm going to try and be back soon, all right?
Okay.
I want you to make one last agreement with me, if you're willing.
Sure. It's not like I've got anything better to do. Besides, lay here and try not to drown. What can I do for
If
you?
if I don't come back, which like I said, I'll be all right, but I may not be able to get back in here. Thought magic isn't the easiest for me. It's not natural to me. Which is a story for another time. You survive and I'll tell you it, okay? If if I don't come back here, please consider overblotting, okay?
Okay. I would prefer to
I'll
keep my head, but
I'll make sure you don't die, okay?
okay.
I'll make sure only people who are strong and who care for you and who will not let you get hurt are involved. And I will make sure you end this okay.
Thank you. Really.
Of course. Hey, just I'll be back hopefully soon, okay?
Okay.
Um I wish I could give you something before I go, but um is there anything you'd like to experience? Any memory or thought or emotion? I can try and mentally send it.
Um, the other people I've met, I think a lot of them know you too. Can you show me what they actually look like?
Of course. And you is flooded with almost like a soft glowing, like it's the image of someone who views people with such love and adoration of Jubilee, of Minami, Camille, Leo. He's probably actually heard of the other Overblot, so probably a bit of Quinn, though Quinn is a lot, you can tell he is not close to Quinn. In fact, there's a minor bit of hostility there.
That actually does make you laugh. It's just not a big fan of Quinn, are we?
He's flirted with one of my sons.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
that
a
makes sense.
bit protective. He's a good kid, though, based on what I've seen.
He's been through a lot.
Mm. A lot of people here have, it seems. And you starts to get more. You gets Moria, Professor, Phineas. You get it starts with just the people you knows, but it just starts to expand into every person Tome can think of who's ever had a positive influence on him. And you is just flooded with the feelings of being loved and cared for and wanted and kindness and happiness and joy and the best memories. And they get older and older until you even gets the image of like a really like staticky almost image of an old deer cupping Yu's cheek and lifting the chin up and saying, "You've got this, okay?"
God. Oh man. I don't think Tome can quite feel it, but Yu is crying.
"I'm gonna be back, okay, dear?"
Okay. Thank you.
"Of course, just focus on those. Even if you can't focus for yourself, focus for them, okay? They want you to keep fighting. I want you to keep fighting, okay?"
Okay.
And Tome is going to mentally pull out of the entire situation back into reality as he opens his eyes.
And as he opens his eyes, the room around you guys is still black and white, but Yu is more sepia toned. There's the littlest hint of his usual more
Oh!
neutral, warm color palette.
One second, I gotta get an expression of this. Me right now.
Wait, I'm not seeing. Is this in Roll Zone?
Please look at FPS commentary.
Oh god, I try not to look at the commentary zone until afterward. Let me pop over.
Here, I'll put in roll zone. I'll look in a roll zone then.
Okie dokie.
That's just me right now.
Oh boy.
Okay. And Tome's gonna kind of smile at that before he crouches down. And he's gonna cut off the telepathic link for now.
Mm-hmm.
You, can you hear me?
And there is a hard blink. And then Yu puts a hand to his head. Ah, ow, that hurt. Yes?
I need you to put some of that ink in my eye.
Okay. And Tome is free to roll insight.
Okay?
And I will give you advantage, given that you, kind of achieved the impossible here.
Holy shit! Holy shit! Holy shit!
You're saying that a lot tonight.
He doesn't need advantage. He does not need advantage. He does not need advantage.
Nat 20?
Nat 20.
Yeah. So, you know how... So this actually makes perfect sense, because he heard you call this thing a stupid fucking puppet and call it a copycat. And he felt that gap in between the mind it is drawing from for its surface level thoughts and the actual body. So when he gives the direct command of, "I need you to put some of that ink in my eye," he sees it when that gap between the conscious mind and the source is so far. This, whatever it is that's piloting the body of Yu Aodien's, is not capable of thought. or of decision making. It's capable of an internal monologue, and it thinks it's capable of thought. It acts as though it's capable of thought, but if given a direct command, it can't say no. It has no control over its own actions. And with that 33, I will give you, you can put together, this is part of why Yuu has been in quarantine. And you can also put together that it's not just actions. There has not been once when you asked a question that you wasn't able to answer. Or didn't at least try.
Tome's face is very much a frown.
This thing has no free will.
I'm foaming at the mouth. I'm like ripping at the world right now. World.
It really is just a puppet following whatever command it's given. And when it's not being given a command, it's running on some preset directive.
I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna scream.
And what's funny is when Tome gives it a direct command, any of the distress that it was displaying before fades. And it rises to its feet and starts undoing the bandages that are very, very tight around its hand. And
Tome stands there taking a deep breath and just waits.
it unwinds them. And
Actually, he will do one thing.
mm-hmm.
Jubilee gets a very quick text, which is check on me in an hour. He's learned. And he sends a little location ping and everything.
Oh boy. And Yuu unwinds the bandages from around his hand. And Tome, what you see is a little freaky. Because
I'm sure.
Those markings that you had on his hands when you first met have spread significantly. They go all the way up his arms and partially over his chest and back at this point. Not that you can see all of it, obviously. But from what you can see, it fully covers his arm. And as he undoes the bandages, what should be skin begins to melt and slough off almost immediately. And you recognize the thick ink that is Overblood ink.
And Tome just kind of crouches down so that he's eye level with the hand.
You kind of...
God's help me so that my kids don't kill me.
Huh?
Tome mutters to himself, God's help me so my kids don't kill me.
And Yuu pauses and looks at him and is just, are you sure about this?
There's a pause, and he texts his phone is dinging, and he texts a couple times. I'm fine, I'm testing a theory, but you guys get on to me when I test, and he's texting Juby again. You get on to me if I test theories without warning one of you. And then he nods. I'm ready.
And there is a small flick gesture, and it's a familiar sensation, because everything goes dark. And Tome is somewhere else. This is going to be much longer of an FPS than I thought it was.
I'm so sorry. If we need to take breaks, reschedule, let me know.
No, we're good. I'm having a blast. But yeah.
I'm sorry. We fucked around and found out. Guys, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I will say, at the 2 hours, I probably will call for like a 5-minute break. If we reach that mark, just because, we're in it now, boys.
We're 20 minutes from the 2-hour mark. Trust me, we're probably gonna hit it.
Okay, cool. I'll just take a bio break then. Let's go.
Yeah.
On the 20-minute mark. Let's go.
Yeah. Tome, you are back in ink space.
Is he back in his look?
He is indeed back in the look TM.
Do I have that look still saved on my thing? So I can put it for the image.
If not, I
Character
can
ref.
find it.
Okay, I have it for the Quinn. Images. Okay, yeah, that was post after I started organizing my files, so let me quickly grab it.
Mm-hmm.
Image in ink blot scroll zone. Boop. There you go. Open a browser. Copy image. Boop. I'm so good at this. I am so good at this, guys.
You are so amazing. We are so
I'm
proud.
waiting for people to look into the gallery and kill me. And kill us, actually.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
they're going to recognize that outfit.
Oh boy.
Tome kind of slowly stands up. Well, I didn't die. And he kind of takes in a slow, deep breath.
And
Now the kids can't kill me.
there's a sort of splashing sound from somewhere near him. Um and the spectral servant is there. It says, "Hello. How can I help you?"
I need you to take me to the glass. It was a coffin, right? Tome could tell it's a coffin, right?
Yes.
I need you to take me to the glass coffin.
Glass coffin? I don't think there's
Or
a
the
door.
bottom of the sea, if you'd rather.
Oh. I do not think you would survive that trip. That is a very far way down.
Well, I'll hold my breath. And he kind of crosses his arms. If I start to pass out, I'll let you know and you can drag me back up here.
And it looks at you, and you can tell now with some sort of clarity that comes with context that this thing, whatever it is not quite right.
He had a feeling.
It has this very blank expression on its face, and you remember, Tome, from the first time you were ever here, that this thing did not flinch when you were threatening it.
Yep.
And
And he kind of, yep.
it has that same yellow in its eyes as before. But
Would he be able to tell this is where he realizes it from?
he can tell it's one of the places.
Fun.
He'd have
Suffering. Fun.
he'd have to roll history to try and recognize the other one.
Nope. Yeah, no, still low history. Nope.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man saving his good rolls for the important things, I guess.
I fucking guess, yeah. And it looks at him and just shrugs. All right. Don't say I didn't warn you.
Okay.
And it will walk over, stand in front of him, and tilt its head. And there is the faintest glimmer of some kind of emotion there.
Can I insight?
Go ahead.
Can I insight more consequences of my actions? Oh, yeah, nope. Unless the modifier saves him. The dice sure aren't.
15 will get you something. It won't get you everything.
Yeah, I figured.
There is the slightest bit of conflict and something that might be hope. Very much the sense of, I'm doing something I'm not supposed to. but I have an excuse.
Wet.
And it looks you in the eyes, Tome, and asks, "Are you sure this is what you want to do?"
You'll bring me out if I let you know I can't continue down. Correct?
That is my purpose.
Then yes, I'm sure.
Then allow me to give you a bit of advice. And it cocks its head to the side. Follow the flow of the current. And then the floor drops out from underneath you.
Tome is in the water, I guess. Okay, let me do a quick wisdom, see how quickly he gathers his bearings of his surroundings. Jesus Christ. Sorry, Lord. I shouldn't be using thy name in vain. 23.
Yeah.
Man is in the zone.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, you drop through what was once a solid surface. And you are surrounded by that same dark, cold, inky water. And you feel something rattle and wrap around your wrist.
Is it going in the direction of the current?
Roll me perception.
Okay. How's a 25?
25. Okay. You can't tell if...
Okay.
Or let me rephrase.
I want to once again clarify, if any of this starts to mess up your plans, let me know and I'll have him run out of breath.
No, honey, I am living for this. I may have to include you in the finale, but I am down.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I have a co-DM for that. We are so good. We are so Gucci.
I'm sorry. Don't fuck around and found.
You feel something wrap around your wrist, and that something feels static, but with a 25 on perception, you can feel the flow of the current around you. And it is bringing you down and forward as though towards some sort of center point.
Is it direction of the hand?
It's not a hand that's around your wrist.
Oh, it's the current.
No. Does he look down to see what has him?
Yes.
There is a bright silver shackle wrapped around his wrist with a silver chain that just sort of trails off into the dark.
I'll worry about that. Well, he thinks this. He's not saying this because, underwater. Oh, guess I'll be worrying about that if it tries to stop me.
Mm-hmm.
Current focused. Current. And he's going to try and swim after it.
And here's the funny thing. Swimming doesn't seem to do anything. You try to swim and you're stuck in place. But thinking, I want to follow the current, I want to see where this goes, pulls you down faster.
Well, in that case, he's going to stop swimming so he stops using up energy. And he's just going to really think about this.
Yeah, it goes from like a subtle suggestion to you are being dragged. And
Yippee.
Eventually, you reach some point. You're not sure what kind of point, but you reach some point. And you stop. And you can feel something that is trying but failing to be ground under your feet.
Tome is going to try and push his hand underneath him, as if reaching through the ground.
It moves around your hand a bit like wet sand, but you don't find anything. But do you want me to keep rolling off your 25 perception?
If you want, I can roll again if you'd rather.
Up to you.
I'm going to keep it. That's a pretty good one.
Okay.
It's not as high as his passive, but it's still pretty good.
Then I will say he puts his hand down, and it feels like something between a wet sand and some kind of putty. It's not slimy, but it's definitely rubbery and partially liquid.
I'm just thinking of that like old toy, like kinetic stand.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
I'm just thinking of kinetic sand, I won't lie.
Kinetic sand, but smooth.
Literally, it's like those slimes you see on TikTok.
Yeah. But in front
Serious
of...
moment, I compare it to TikTok slime.
Amazing. But in front of him, there is a shape. And it's really dark down here, so it's really hard to make out. But there is a light coming off of this shape. And kind of illuminating the edges of it a little bit. And it certainly is coffin-shaped, though not made of glass.
Tom's gonna try and uncover it.
You don't have to. It's in front of you. It's sort of sitting on the ocean floor, TM.
What does it look like if it's not glass shaped? If it's not made of glass.
Okay, let me grab a reference.
I'm sorry, I am speed running you. You put me in 1 FPS and I was like, speed run this.
It's fine. I'm flexing my improv muscles.
You are, and they're quite strong actually. They're very impressive. Genuine.
Thank you. My improv muscles are ripped.
They are. Ooh.
It looks like that.
Oh. Out of character pretty.
It's a very coffin-shaped coffin with a sort of glass window near the top where, you know, a person's head or face would be. And as you run your hand over it, it is covered with ornate filigree that sort of stands out from the top of it. And then your fingers find metal, and there is a keyhole.
Tome is going to reach for his side because he knows he's had keys before and see if any are there.
Does he put his hand in his pocket?
Yes.
All right. He puts his hand in his pocket and pulls out a key ring. Remind me, how many overplots has Tome been in before?
2. Minimi and Jubilee. Because there's been 3 so far, right?
4. There's been 4.
4. Yes, because Quinn... There was Quinn's, and then there was Currents.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's been in 2 of the 4.
Mm-hmm. Before, there were 2 keys on your ring. Now, there is 1 more. And it's strange because it looks like it doesn't... It looks like it doesn't belong. The other 2 give off a faint light of their own that highlights them against the pitch black of the water around you. But this one, you can only tell that it's there because you can feel the weight and the shape of it.
Tome's gonna take a deep internal breath.
Yeah, don't take a deep breath of this stuff. You're not Lynn. You're not going to survive that.
And he's going to put the key in and twist.
And it takes a minute, but there is... So you know those old skeleton keys that are very, very heavy, and when you twist them, it makes a really satisfying ka-chunk when you turn it in the lock?
Yes! You understand! I literally have one here on my desk. It makes me so happy.
It's that is the sensation of it's just this very solid sounding click. And there is a slight draining sound around you as the lid of this coffin swings open and more of this ink that was already being pulled into it drains into the box.
Is you there? Very important question.
No.
Okay, cool. Because the moment Tome sees you, he is slapping his hand on the other's mouth so he doesn't breathe in this ink.
No, this I think with what you've been rolling, I can give you this. This is a door. This is not wherever you is. This isn't it. This is a door to wherever that is.
Welp. Tome's going through.
Of course
May the
you
god.
are.
I'm sorry, world. He sent Jubilee the message. He has no self-preservation now. No, I'm joking. He is very purposely like checking to see how his breath is doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's going down.
Mm-hmm. As he jumps in, or well, sort of swims in, I guess. Because you don't have the ability to jump in because you're underwater. This wasn't supposed to happen, but okay, here we go.
Sorry.
Here we go.
I'm genuinely sorry, world. Once again, I can have him run out of breath. It's not hard.
Nope, we're doing this. I'm not a coward.
Okay.
But you did say you wanted to take a break, and I think this would be a good place
Yes.
to take it.
Let's take a break. I will be back in like 5 minutes.
Same. All right. Hey gang, how we doing? Oh, this has not gone the direction we thought it would. This is a hell of an FPS.
Once again, reiterating, if at any point we need to stop, let me know and he will run out of breath and call for the servant.
No, I know how to fix this so that it doesn't prematurely if it doesn't prematurely end the situation.
Yeah, that's like my main worry. So no, Tome's not gonna die.
I would never do that. No. But I
Like I said,
have
I know Tome's not gonna die.
I have an idea in mind for how to handle this. Um You're
Well, at
gonna be
least
very
if you
happy with how it happens. It might
oh, I'm
have
sure.
certain results. Oh boy.
Oh, I believe you. Hey, if anything, you got a person to get the party together.
True. I actually already had a plan for how to get the party together, but you know what? I might have an extra idea to tack on now.
Yeah, you got backup now. You
Well,
got an extra informant, I guess.
not even backup. I have an idea for, cause see the original way this was gonna shake out was you was going to, well, how it's going to shake out is in the aftermath of Crystal's Overblood, which is the next one. Stay tuned, folks.
So,
You disappears. He gets yoinked into the ink and doesn't come back up. Until eventually he fights his way free, by following the light, of specifically the professor's soul that the Overblood fucking hates. And
I'm
so,
sorry. I love how Tome in my head went. Of course, it's his soul.
well,
The little bright little. Because I point at who got to Tome.
yeah. And I also gesture at Tome. Direct that at yourself as well, because you two are besties, and you know what? The two of them together might just create a bright enough light for you to be able to feasibly follow.
He's not that happy yet. Anyways.
It's not happiness, it's strength of spirit.
I know, but not happy enough to, like, think that he has that strength of spirit.
Yeah. But yeah, Tome may or may not wind up. If you want to be part of the finale, please let me know, because I will include you. And I will have.
We'll discuss this later when you're not on a high,
Yeah,
because
good
I
point.
know how intense these things are. So genuinely, as a person who's been in your situation before, this is a post FPS, at least a day later decision, and at least run by like 3 other people. Because Coxcon's self-care above all.
Okay. But we're
Genuinely,
both
if
back.
anything, yeah, we're both back. If anything, it could be like how Minami was in the Professor games, where Tome acts more as an informant rather than an actual player. There's lots of options. We can figure it out later.
Yep.
Right now, consequences, consequences, consequences of actions.
Consequences of my actions chasing me right now.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. But we're both back. Let's descend back into the adventure zone, TM. So, Tome, you go through the coffin. And everything goes dark again as the coffin clicks shut behind you. And then you are no longer underwater. You are...
Oh, thank goodness.
You are very suddenly somewhere else. Somewhere you haven't been before.
Can he breathe?
He can breathe.
We take them the biggest. No, man.
This man is gasping for breath.
He's old.
His old man lungs.
You're lucky that this man sadly has trauma regarding water, so he knows how to breathe underwater.
That's what I fucking thought you'd say, you silly little hee-hoo.
Hey, you played the game. Okay.
I haven't played that far yet.
Well, technically that part isn't canon. I did change the ending of the game so that I could actually have Tome and Draft House. Also, we can talk about this later. Anyways, big gasp of air, old man lungs.
And
okay,
You are
Okay.
standing in a hallway that looks like this.
This is new.
Yeah. So, quick rundown of
I
this.
know this. I know this, and I am looking at you so intently right now, Whirl.
uh, so, quick little rundown. You are standing in a hallway of a real kind house? Manor? You're not quite sure. Um, Sort of behind you is a wooden door with glass panels in it. And outside, you can see a raging storm of black rain. But inside, everything is bright and cozy and warmly lit, and there are soft, cozy looking rugs on the floor. There's a coat rack next to the door that has nothing on it at present, but there is a slight difference in between the picture I sent and what you're actually seeing, because in the picture I sent, the amount of pictures on the wall are tasteful, just a couple pictures here and there. Not the case here. As you open your eyes and enter this hallway, wall to wall photographs. The entire white space on that wall is covered in old photographs.
Hmm.
Um but you are in a new space. Welcome to, well, you don't know what this place is.
I don't know, and I'm just like, oh, we're in it now, Tome.
You have made decisions, old man.
Me, Spec, just going, oh, oh, I know what this place is. Oh, goodness. Oh, no. Oh, no.
You have
Okay.
made decisions, sir.
Consequence of actions. Okay. First things first, Tome is going to do is he's going to see if he can access his plot device.
Okay, roll me Arcana.
Okay. Because Tome did make a promise he was going to try and do better, which is partially why, despite how much he wants to help, he's been multiple times paying attention to his own survival.
And we're so proud of him for that.
No, the Arcana doesn't work.
No, that's actually good. Because that means Tome doesn't know enough about magic to know the plot device shouldn't work here.
Oh, wait, I added the wrong modifier.
Oh.
There we go.
Well, it's still below a 15.
Wait, I was like, wait, I didn't realize he was proficient in this.
Yeah, so, Tome, you pull out your plot device, and you aren't aware that it shouldn't work in this place. And
Can he send a message?
It's functional. You can send a message.
Yes! He sends a text to Jubilee again. What's the monologue in his DM's audience?
Oh,
I've been informed by the audience he has returned to a monologue. Just a very long, ranting monologue. Can I get a gist? I can read it out. Tome's gonna get murdered. Tome's gonna get murdered. He's gonna get killed by his own kid. You know what the funniest part is? Is Tome's handing me the most, boomer thing ever. He's just gonna take a photo and go, do you know this place, Juby?
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh, goodness gracious. I
am so sorry you let this joke of a man into this room.
I'm not. I'm having a blast. This is delightful.
The funniest part is, do you want to know why all this started? Because Tome thought you had background character syndrome.
Yep.
That's why he was interrogating the other so intently.
Yep.
And then okay, from the audience, Tome reads a message that goes, "You absolute fucking muppet. What have you been thinking? I'm going to shake you like a rag doll when I get there. I'm not waiting a fucking hour. I'm kicking this door fully off its hinges. You better be fucking okay, because you will not be, old man." And so Jubilee just gets a text and's like, "I'm alive. I told you to wait an hour."
And followed by the photo of, hey, do you know this place?
Literally followed by a photo of, "Do you know this place?" 1 second. Let me.
Oh god, is this gonna turn into an impromptu game?
I don't know. I hope not. Well, I don't mind. I would feel bad for you.
You can have Noodle unmute, yeah.
Noodle, you may unmute to have your bird live yell live. Because we could just have Tome call him. Noodle's getting the headset connected fully.
Oh my god.
Hi, world.
Hello! Hi, everyone. It's me, noodle or pasta or udon, or whichever variation thereof y'all are feeling like today. Hi, I'm the surprise guest.
I'm in trouble.
Our beloved surprise guest, Noodle.
Hi.
Hi, Noodle.
Hi, hello.
The picture gets sent, and then Jubilee gets a phone call from Tome.
It is answered immediately to the loudest bird squawking Grolix you have ever heard, to the point where Tome probably has to pull the phone away from his ear because there is the effect of Grolix literally coming out of the phone.
Okay. I see you're feeling very passionate at the moment.
You are so fucking dead. Where the fuck are you? What is this? What have you done?
Okay, well, first of all, I want to point out I have been being very careful this whole time. So you cannot yell at me. Okay? I made sure I could always back out at any moment.
Yeah.
I made sure nothing would kill me, and I even told you ahead of time. Okay? So none of you
have you considered? You are my father figure, and I know what I'm like, so I know what you're like. You're probably doing something incredibly stupid. And second,
it's not stupid if I know I'm going to be okay.
You didn't involve me, which I am disappointed in because I like adventures. But secondly, again, where the fuck are you? That's not you's apartment.
I don't know. Now, I'm going to explain things to you, and you need to promise to stay calm because, like I said, I am doing better and I've been being careful.
Okay.
I had you throw some ink in my eye.
You what?
So when I got to Yu's place, I figured out something was wrong. And so I ended up going into, after a very long conversation, you don't need to know that part, I realized something was up. So I went into Yu's mind, and there was nothing in there. So I went farther, and I found a Yu inside a glass coffin. And I talked to that Yu, and Yu informed me that the only way to help rescue them out is for either them to overblot or someone to visit them. And of course, I don't want them to overblot. I've seen what happens when you guys overblot. So I was like, okay, how does someone visit you? And Yu was like, oh, well, you throw ink in your eye. And I was like, oh, okay. And that's why I texted you, because I was like, technically, I don't know how this is going to go, but I was pretty sure it's be safe because it was safe when you did it. So I had you go ahead and do that.
No, stop right there. Stop right there. Firstly, I'm fucking immune, Dad. I am immune.
I might be. I've been there more times than you have.
Have you? Have you?
I've been there twice.
So have I! I went,
yes, but I'm cooler.
Incorrect. You're old. Immediately discounts you.
Old is cool.
Debatable. Secondly, again, what were you thinking?
Well, I was thinking correctly because I ended up in the Overblot's place, perfectly fine and healthy.
So,
and then I swam to the bottom.
What the fuck do you mean you swam to the bottom? That's a floor.
Well, you know how people would end up underneath it originally before we pulled them out?
Huh? What?
Oh wait, you weren't there because you were in the blot situation.
I was in the fucking theater, and when I
Okay,
showed
so
up the
fun
second
fact.
time, I was on the floor. I was in
Okay,
the
so
place with all the stairs and the doors.
that's not a real floor. Okay, that is actually not a real floor. That is actually a flake floor above an ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever you enter it for the first time and you're not blotted, you will wake up down there and you have to be pulled out by the servant.
You mean you?
That's not you.
What the fuck do you mean that's not you?
I mean, that's
talked
not
with
you. That's why I'm freaking out. That is not you. It's a puppet. The
Well, that's
actual
not
you
good.
is in the. Yeah, no, you told me it's a puppet. You,
Okay.
not you as in you as in the person you told me was a puppet. That's what happened. Whenever I went through their mind, is I found out the mind of the person I was talking to was empty, and I went further and I found the real you panicking because they're drowning in a coffin.
But oh fuck.
Yes. So you could see why I was a little bit more, hasty in my decision making.
And you just fucking went in there on your own. You were like, yeah,
Well,
sure, I'll dive to the bottom of an ocean. That's smart.
thank you
Okay,
very much.
sure.
I knew I'd be able to get out because I already talked to the servant, and the servant agreed. The moment I gave the mental thought, they would pull me out. So I wouldn't have to worry about drowning. I wouldn't have to worry about dying. Wouldn't have to worry about even getting overblotted.
Oh, you don't have to worry about dying because I'm killing you the moment you get out
Oh
of here.
yeah, get in line, Jubilee.
Oh, I'm the first one, you motherfucker.
Oh no,
And the moment you
thank
get
you
to the
very much.
line, I am invoking my mother's power. I will be there waiting for you.
Oh,
I will
you can
kill
try.
twice, asshole.
I'm pretty sure the professor or Penumbra, if not both, will try and get me first. You have to get in line. Anyways, I swam to the bottom and I found a coffin, but it wasn't the right coffin, but it had a key. And since I knew how to get to the key, because the 2 times I have been here for people overblotted, the keys appeared in my jacket pocket. I reached into my jacket and found out there was another key. So I unlocked the coffin, and considering I still had a good amount of breath in me, I went through and I popped up here. And I was hoping you knew what this was. Because I
No!
don't.
Tom, do you think I know shit like this? No.
You're good friends with you?
Yes!
I'm the guy who
I am!
threatened them twice.
Well, I don't typically go about invoking anything with the blot.
Okay, we both know that's a
biggest
lie.
plan was to try and figure out a way that, he wouldn't lose his head when, inevitably, he was bound to overblot. I mean, it's bad. I tried to avoid thinking about that because I don't want my friend to lose his bloody head.
Well,
But
I'm not going to let that happen.
Good!
And
Sure.
that's why I'm here, is I'm trying to stop that. But I was hoping you had an idea.
No.
Okay, okay, fine. You're on the way to Yu's apartment since you refused to listen to me, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And Whirl, you can stop me at any point for the instructions Tome's about to give Jubilee.
If you're gonna have Tome bring Juby in, I'm fine with that if Noodle wants to join us.
That actually wasn't his original plan, but that might be depending on how things go.
Mm-hmm.
Jubilee, I need you would have likely kept notes or something. You can see you have the picture I sent you, okay?
Yeah. Sure, yeah. Yes.
Try and find any books, anything. Either use notes or pictures or scrapbooks or anything. Anything where this place looked familiar. Sketches, anything.
Go through his shit.
You're a thief!
I don't steal from my friends!
Fine. I'll just stay here in the unknown.
Oh
No idea where I am.
Okay. Alright, I'll look through the stupid books. Okay.
I'm glad my son does actually love me.
Oh my god, Tome.
You are so lucky I do.
I learned it the best from you, Jubilee.
No, you did not.
No, I sure didn't learn that from Camille. Might have learned that from Leo, but definitely wasn't mean to me either. So, likely you.
No.
Yeah. Out all you want. Okay, text me any updates you have. I'm gonna keep looking around, okay?
Right.
And I'll text you before I do anything, okay? You remember how I got here, right?
Yes.
Okay, so worst case, do you know how to find me?
Mm-hmm. It better not get to that case, Tome.
It will not get to that case. I'm just saying. In an hour.
Not gonna be an
Also,
hour.
please make sure my body isn't in a weird thing. I have a really bad tendency to fall into like this really weird limp pose, out of character Family Guy pose.
I'm going to make sure you are ragdolled into the stupidest position possible as retribution for scaring the hell out of me.
Well, I guess I can't return to a world that's seen me like that. I guess I'll have to go back there and swallow some of that ink.
Nope. You'll have to deal with that. That's payment.
Fine. I guess you can have one embarrassing photo of me. God knows there's plenty you can find.
No, I don't need a picture. This is just for me. This is just my retribution knowing.
Well, see, this is why I messaged just you and not the group chat.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness.
Also because I think the others have gone through enough recently with the professor, and I really don't want to die because so many people tried to kill me.
Alright, okay. Yeah, just not an hour in here.
30 minutes.
15.
20.
Deal.
And Tom's gonna hang up.
Love you.
And Benny's gonna hang up.
Love you too, dumbass.
I hope you're enjoying this world.
I am having the time of my life. Are you kidding?
I'm glad Tom's having less than that. But at least we got some nice fluff in the form of whatever in the world Noodle, whatever in the world Juby and Tom were doing.
Father-son bickering. We love to see it.
Exactly.
But yeah, okay. So you are in a place. Okay. Noodle, actually, real quick, before you go, can I have you just roll a quick investigation to see what kind of information Juby can find?
Consequences, actions.
I just took a bite of pizza. Investigation, correct?
I'm sorry, I'm just imagining Juby mid-fight.
7. Okay, with a 7 you don't find anything.
Yep.
That's fair.
Can't wait for those 20 minutes to pass and Juby to pop up, I guess.
Alright, bye!
Bye-bye.
Until then, though, Tome's gonna do some investigating of his own.
Yeah, go ahead. Roll me investigation.
Well, first he's gonna do something a little bit simple. He's gonna call out, You, can you hear me?
There is no response.
I figured it wouldn't be that easy. Okay. Gods can never let me have just a singular, easy day on the job. All right. Okay. Investigation time. Fun fact, investigation is actually one of his... Well, I was going to say, it's not one of his big 3. Let's see what he gets. That landed perfectly in the middle. Okay, it fell. It fell into a 16.
16?
Then I have to add the dice. It literally rolled like right smack in the middle of the 3 and 16, so I just jiggled it really aggressively from the 16. I was like, okay.
24. Okay. So, Tome, you head down this hallway. And I will note, the one difference between this picture that I have sent in chat and the actual space around you, it is a solid hallway. There is no stairs to one side or archway to the other. It is a solid hallway, and at the end of the hallway is another set of double doors, which are currently open. As you travel down this hallway, you can see, again, lots and lots of photos on the wall. And if you look at them closely, there are people here. People, some of them you recognize, some of them you don't. In fact, most of them you don't. Most of them are real kind. Most of them, a lot of them are human. Some of them less so. Some of them have more animalistic features, but here in this hallway particularly, there are a lot of photos of what, with a 24 investigation, you can guess are a much, much younger Yu Aodians, with a short woman with curly blonde hair and a taller man with a kind face and glasses and dark brown hair, who you can only guess are his parents.
Okay. Okay.
And
Tom kind of frowns. It's all right. I'm sorry. I need a moment.
You're okay. Take your time.
No, it's not angst. Please look in the AI general right now.
Oh no. What is happening?
I was trying to clear my notifications in AIs because I still had the thing pulled up for the image, and I just look at general on AI. I'm so sorry. My
Corb!
ADHD made me see that.
Corb!
No, below the core, please look at the most recent message. The one that was sent just now. Don't read it out loud. Yep. Yep.
Oh my god! Okay.
You see why my brain stopped for about 5 seconds.
Yep, no, that would glitch me too. What the fuck?
No, I'm gonna make it better. Please look at FPS rolls roll right now.
Oh my god. Spec. Spec, please, I'm trying to be serious here.
I know, but I need you to understand because I didn't want to randomly stop interacting with you because my brain was like entering like a blue screen moment, and it like, yeah.
Oh my god. Okay. Oh, I mean, that is certainly topical. Okay, let me just get my brain together.
I'm so sorry. I needed somebody else to experience this.
Well, you're no longer suffering alone. Jesus. Okay.
Let us continue. Because Tobe is genuinely so upset right now, and I was just so... Tome is not white. Do not criticize him. I mean, yes, but also no. Don't do this to him.
Oh my god.
Okay,
Okay.
Tome kind of sighs. Okay, deep breath. And he kind of frowns at that. I'll take care of him, okay?
There's no response from the photos on the wall, but...
He didn't expect one. He's gonna continue down the hallway purposely.
Mm-hmm. There are others of this family, although at a certain point, the man you can assume is Yu's father stops appearing. And eventually, they stop taking pictures together as a family altogether, but there are spaces where it almost looks like photos of the lady and of Yu have been intentionally composed together to make it look like they're still a family. And then...
just frowns at that.
And then he gets towards the end of the hall. And he steps through a door frame, or through the set of double doors at the end of the hallway, and enters this space.
Consequence of actions. I know this place and I'm crying.
He enters a spacious living area with dark green painted walls and wide bay windows that reach from floor to ceiling and have white curtains framing them. And again, he can see outside the raging storm. But again, inside it is warm and it is peaceful and it is quiet. And on the wall, more photos, but these ones are of a different set of people. These ones, rather than being of the Audien's family, are instead of people wearing a very similar uniform to what Tome has seen you wear. The same vest, albeit several in very different colors. Some of them look human, but some of them have more animalistic features, like there is a boy with the ears and tail of a wolf, a boy with the horns of a dragon.
Me foaming at the mouth, because I know these characters! Some of them are Blorbos!
There's a boy with blue fire for hair, a kid who looks like a robot. And most of these, Yuu is not in, but some of them he is. And there are a lot of the photos that Yuu appears in, Dyer also appears in.
I guess I'm speedrunning backstory today.
You can only assume that these are Yuu's classmates.
Yeah, he had a feeling.
But this is where I need to pull out some stuff that I wasn't expecting to have to use yet.
I'm so sorry!
Honey, you're fine. Don't worry about it. So,
Okay!
you are in this map. You are in the lounge area. On the far side of the room, you see a couple bookshelves and a desk that look like they might be a study area. Directly in front of you is a lounge. And then to your... hang on, directions. Left, there is a set of stairs that go up to a landing that overlooks the rest of the room. And on that landing, you can see an arched doorway.
Up the stairs Tome goes.
Alrighty.
So he does send a text to Jubilee. I'm heading up the stairs if you do come after me. This way Jubilee could keep track of him. You know? He's gotta keep up with the son.
Gotta be careful.
Yeah. He made a promise.
He did.
I'm so glad I upped his AC. I don't think it's going to be involved, but I'm so glad I upped his AC.
Yeah, he gets to the second floor landing, and looking through that archway, there is a long hall, and at the end of it, a very old, very rustic-looking door.
I see what's happening. I can see in that photo things. Tobe is gonna walk all the way down into the door.
And again, the walls in this area are lined with photographs. And these ones are of all of the people Yuu has met during his time in Einquell. And at the end of the hallway, there's what looks like a relatively new collection of photos, because they are in bright color and have a sort of vignette effect around the edges of them. And they're the people that Tome showed you through that mental link.
Oh, give me a moment! Give me a moment! Oh! Oh! Oh, give me a moment. Okay, hold up. That one got me. Ooh, okay, we're good. We're good. Everything's fine. Everything's okay. I'm just crying. Okay.
Are you actually okay?
I'm okay. I'm a little dramatic, but I'm okay. I am. That genuinely did get me. Oh, but it got me in the good way. Like in the, wow, this is amazing storytelling, my poor emotions. Tome kind of pauses and he places his hand on those photos. Give me strength, guys, okay? You needs it. And Tome is gonna...
There's a
You go.
soft warmth radiating from those photos.
I need it. And his smile kind of softens. Before he heads into the final room, it looks like.
Yeah. He enters this last room, and this door is not like the others. The others have been very large, very elegantly carved, very pretty. This one is old, and it's worn down, and it's slightly splintered, and it's got a very heavy iron handle that takes a fair bit of effort to lift and turn. And as he's opening it, there's this sense of, this isn't ready yet. But that's not stopping him, is it?
No, I'm scared, but...
Alright, then I need to find one more room.
Okay. Correction. He will wait the 20 minutes for Jubilee to arrive.
Alright. Noodle.
He is at least smart enough for that.
Oh, that might not be a smart decision here, but Noodle, would you kindly join us?
He promised to do better. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I'm fine with it. It just means that, there is some shit that's probably gonna happen. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
You said Noodle. You said Noodle could come along, and Tome handed me, okay, if this isn't ready, then that means something on the other side might be upset, which means...
Yeah.
Which means I can't face this one alone.
So...
Hello, everyone. I'm back.
Yes, hello. Welcome back. So, let's real quick flash backward into Yu's apartment. Jubilee, when you arrive at Yu's apartment, you find Yu setting an unconscious Tome on one of the two couches in his living area. And he kind of blinks and looks up at you in surprise when you come through the door without breaking it down.
No, I need to... About that.
Oh boy. Break it down.
Well, you see, Juvie has time magic.
Does he
And he
fucking
can-
decay the door?
It's... There, he does decay the door. And then he literally body slams himself through it in his rush to get in.
And what he finds is Yu's apartment. And I need you to roll me perception real fast.
Delightful, yes. Great, thanks. He's panicking.
Okay. Juby, with a 4, you don't even notice it. You barge into Yu's apartment. It looks perfectly normal.
Yeah, he's not paying attention. Things are in the right places. Yep, that's good enough.
The only thing he can see that's slightly out of the ordinary is that there is a half-started pan of hot chocolate on the counter, and that Yu is very carefully moving an unconscious Tome onto one of the couches and throwing a blanket over him.
Yeah. Sorry, you. Your best friend, slams through the door, breaking it, apologizing the whole way in the most frantic way you have ever seen this bird. His feathers are all out of sorts. There is, like, a dust cloud behind him. Just to say just how frazzled he is walking in here.
Jubilee, is everything alright?
Sorry about the door, wasn't thinking. Kind of
okay.
pissed at Tome. My bad. I'll fix that. I can fix that later. I've been given a sort of mission thing. Would it be possible for you to help me, maybe, sort of, kind of? I really, time limit so that this dumbass does not, get himself lost in the ink space.
What?
He just pulls out his plot device. It's like, you said you put him through the thing, like when we went back into ink space.
Oh.
Yes?
Yeah, he told me to.
Okay. Sure. Yep. There's, he's just, okay, yep, that's...
Because Juby already knows about Yu's inability to disobey people.
Yep. Yeah, of course he told you to. Of course he didn't. You can't say no. Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah. Sorry, the time limit. Right, 20 minutes. I have 20 minutes to do this. And he grabs his plot device, which has been out, and shows you the picture. He sent me this. This is where he is. What is this?
That looks like Ramshackle Dorm. I mean, it's a little weird. I never had that many photos on the wall, but how did he get there?
If I knew, I would tell you. Do you have maybe anything, books here, sort of, possibly? I kind of, again, I mean, I'd look through them on my own, but I feel kind of bad just digging through your stuff.
That hasn't stopped you before, but okay.
Yes! It has stopped me from stealing things. Or when it comes to potion making, and that was an agreed upon activity, in which case, yes, I will go through things. Or food, because you gave me blanket permission, while you cannot eat, that I can grab snacks.
Yeah, of course.
You don't have to do anything if I request it, that is the point. I'm, again, reiterating that, because I feel really shit for making you do things and you can't say no. Fuck! Anyway. I'm laughing, because he's frazzled. These are the low rolls. These are the low rolls from earlier.
Yeah, and he just kind of shakes his head and says, I didn't keep any books on Ramshackle,
Okay, sure, yep.
Are you okay?
Am I ever okay?
Do you want a hug?
Yes!
You will walk over and give him a hug.
JB immediately flops and deflates against you. And it is just... He literally deflates from 3D to 2D as he just sighs.
You just pats him on the back.
And, like, I argued 20 minutes. I hate to ask this of you, but if 20 minutes go by and he doesn't stir, can you please send me in there too?
Okay.
I'm asking again. This is me asking you to be absolutely certain. Is this something you want to do?
I want to help you.
Fuck.
Strangles world with my own hands.
Yeah. I don't think he's not. This is his best friend. This is his best friend, and after what he heard on the call with his dad, you see a shine go across Jubilee's glasses. And for a moment, that outline is not an outline. It is the glasses are more transparent than they have any right to be. And being able to actually fully see his expression, not just the grin that is most always on his face. It is a smile, but it is so sad.
You just pulls Juby further into a hug and sits them both down on the couch next to where Tome is just passed the fuck out.
Yeah, and he, for the first 5 minutes, he's able to sit and sort of chat in his usual way of when he's nervous, and just recounting things that have been going on and get you up to speed on everything that's been going on.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the 10-minute, he starts fidgeting. And by 15, he is up and pacing.
I think, actually, I might interrupt that.
Mm-hmm.
When you notices him starting to get nervous, he pauses, lets Juby up, and then grabs his hand and starts leading him over to the kitchen. Here, help me make hot chocolate. It'll help when he wakes up. Possibly when both of you wake up.
Yeah. Sure.
And
Probably keep me away from the stove. This is not baking. My tropes still come into play here.
I can
I
handle.
don't want anything to explode.
I can handle the fire. Don't worry. Can you grind these spices for me?
Yep.
And he starts handing Juby a couple of different fresh dried spices to grind up in a mortar and pestle. There's a little bit of chili pepper, there's a little bit of cinnamon, there's a little bit of cardamom, just a bunch of different very cozy spices.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And well, it's obvious that he's still not calm in any capacity. His wings give that away.
Mm-hmm.
But the motions are familiar. It's making potions with them is as close to cooking as you can get.
Mm-hmm.
And this is familiar. This is very familiar. And it's easy to fall back into that rhythm of working alongside you.
Mm-hmm.
But I only have so much time before those 20 minutes hit.
Mm-hmm.
And Juby sets down what was in his hands, whatever he was doing to help at the time. And sighs.
Time?
Precisely. And
Okay. Do you mind?
ironically, he does look at his pocket watch, almost as if checking the time. And
It's not ticking.
clicks it shut. Yeah, it never is. And he didn't expect it to start, but it's reassuring. Just to check.
You guides Juby over to the couch to have him sit down first.
Actually, 1 second, because I need to be petty 1 second.
There it is.
Yeah. Because if he didn't have to wait the 20 minutes, he would have been fine. But 20 minutes has gone past, which means Tome is being stupid. So he arranges Tome into the most absurd Gmod level ragdoll pose you can find.
Tom just lets out a little snore.
You just tilt his head like, how? I don't think, Juby, I don't think limbs are meant to bend. Oh, nope. Okay, they can bend that way.
Yep.
Okay. That looks painful.
He deserves it. His old man bones will survive, if he even has bones. Don't worry about it.
Am I allowed to fix this?
If he gets stuck and can't get up, then yes. Or if you want to.
Okay. Juby, I really don't like leaving anyone in a position that's gonna hurt them. I am going to wind up fixing this the moment you leave.
Fine, give me 1 second. Plot device is out. He takes a picture.
He
Right.
said!
He's also a liar.
Toe in my head is just so indignantly, you said!
But
Unfortunately
that-
for Tome, Juby's friend is too nice for his own good.
But with that, he settles himself down on the other couch and gives you a little salute.
Alright.
See you on the other side.
Yep. See you there. And again, he kind of brings his hand up to eye level with Juby, and he hasn't put the bandages back on his hand, so he does a little flick.
Mm-hmm.
And the ink hits Juby in the eyes.
Yeah.
And Juby
And
is in ink space.
yeah. And when he's there, he finally has his design finished. Because the last time he was here, it was kind of caught between two things. Caught between the villain that was expected of him and who he wants to be.
Mm-hmm.
And this time when he comes through, it's more familiar. He's on solid ground. And, of course, there is the constant companion of a little reformed terror that floats around him and settles in his hand, and he is dressed like a showman, where the only colors on him are the gold detailing and ribbon of his hat and the red of the rose designs on it.
And
And of
standing,
course, go on.
standing in front of him is the servant.
Well, I would make the joke of long time no see, but 5 seconds ago. Right, where's my idiot father? He said through the ocean.
Yes. I
Okay.
could probably take you a more direct route if your goal is to find him.
Yes, please. I'm not. I don't like that stuff. It wasn't fun when I had it infected. No. Let's not. I like the floor. The floor's nice. It's nice.
Well, I can't have you walk on the floor the whole way, but
Fuck. Alright.
sorry.
Do you still have my jacket?
It it tilts its head and pulls the jacket out from the pocket of its apron and puts it on.
Yes. Red's a good color. Alright. Let's go.
The servant takes him by the hand and leads him towards what appears to be some sort of central plaza of Inkspace. Because whenever anybody from Einquell shows up, they show up in the Einquell corridor, where all of the Einquell doors are. But there is a plaza at the end of that corridor, where a bunch of stairs and hallways all converge into one central space. And the servant stops and lets go of Juby's hand once it has him at the sort of center and says, "Okay, we're here. Straight down."
Okay, alright. Yep, straight down. Just down.
Just down. Think about where you want to go.
Think down. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna hate this the whole way down, just saying. Alright, just don't even count me. Don't even count me out, just let's go.
You get "let's go" out, and then you drop.
Yeah. And he holds his breath and just thinks, down.
Down, 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 down.
It's just down, fast, get to Tome.
And Juby, your feet hit against the top of the coffin that Tome mentioned.
Yeah. In his head, he's keeping his mouth shut because he is under the water. Girl, I'm under the water. I do not. Sorry.
Under the sea.
He does not like this.
Under the sea.
Wrong character.
And for several reasons, he does not like coffins. But
No.
for his friend and for his dad, in he goes.
Yeah, he has to reach into his pocket, but he finds, again, that weird key that feels almost unfinished. It's too heavy, and it's not defined from the ink that's all around you, but you can feel its presence in your hand, and it makes that same satisfying ka-chunk when you undo the lock and open the coffin, and you find yourself in that same hallway that Tome sent you a picture of.
Yep. Yep. And he... Okay. Alright, takes a breath, shakes out the wings. Well, shakes out one wing more than the other. One of them is just an outline. And proceeds to just fucking book it.
Yep. Race down the hallway, into the lounge. There's the stairs that Tome was probably talking about. Up you go.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
There's Tome standing at the end of the hallway, looking at the photos kind of fondly.
Yeah, Tome, you hear something familiar in the worst kind of way.
Oh, good, he's
For
here.
just a second. Yeah, it doesn't sound like feathers, though. You hear leather and the clicking of gears.
And he kind of turns towards the sound.
Yeah, and you see your son, who has not climbed the stairs. He has just vaulted from the floor over the banister up to the top. Because he's a dramatic little shit.
It took you
Sticks
long
the
enough.
landing. I gave you 20 minutes.
Well, it turns out I actually didn't need that. But I was getting quite impatient. But I figured I should not enter the next room by myself, considering... How would you kids put it? The vibe were rancid.
Never say those words again. I'm telling... Yeah, no, fuck it. I'm telling the gallery you said that. And they will forever mock you. Congratulations.
They'll mock me for, how do you say it, popping off?
No. Don't use those words unless you use them in the proper context. No.
Oh my
I can't help that I'm just getting it so well.
Oh my god. Okay, please stop before you kill me personally.
I'm sorry. Tome could tell that Juby's upset, and he is doing one of the things he knows always fixes things. He is embarrassing Juby so much.
Yeah.
That is
your
what
son,
fathers do.
Your son storms up to you, proceeds to grab your tie, yank you down,
Ooh.
and
hey, Juby,
headbutt you, and then let go.
Tropes. Juby, tropes, please.
Sucks to suck. Anyway, what's with this fucked
I'm
up
sorry.
doll?
I'll just make sure to get good, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So what's with the
I don't
fucked up
know.
doll?
When I went to grab it, I was about to open it, and it felt like it wasn't ready yet. And I am self-aware enough, and I made an agreement to do better, that I figured I shouldn't go in there alone.
You want to go...
I'm going in there, Jubilee.
Yeah, sure, let's just go out of bounds in the game map. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing.
If it means
right
I can find you, then yes.
Sure.
Listen, if you want, you can wait right here so that you can head back if something does go wrong, rather than the two of us getting... You did tell somebody, correct, that you came in here, right?
Jubilee and Wisp look at each other.
Jubilee
looks away.
Gods above!
Made any promise to not be reckless?
Okay, gods. Okay, who's shooting message? Absolutely not one of the twins.
It's fine. Let's go.
No, we have to message someone. Do you have Yu's number?
I mean, yes, of course.
Well, then
I do.
message you that if we don't come out in an hour to get the others, okay?
I'm giving us less than an hour.
Okay, however much time you want, but message... Gods, you're making me feel like I was smart about this. Actually, you know what? I was, because I actually took precautions.
Juby, yeah. I'm being called out and I don't appreciate it.
Yeah. He considers. He looks at his screen. Does it work?
Roll me Arcana.
I love this. Let's just double check. Yep. 9.
9?
He's so smart. Yep.
Nope. It works.
Yep.
You have to know enough about magic to know that it shouldn't work in order for it to not work.
Mm-hmm.
And Juby don't know shit.
Yep. No, he doesn't. This is Mr. Fuck around and find out to figure out how all of his spells worked. He messages 2 people. Firstly, he messages you to ask him to please wake the 2 of them up 15 minutes. Because Juby does not want to stay down here because this feels wrong. This just
Tome
feels wrong.
would argue for longer than 15 minutes.
We're going
30.
into the unfinished DLC.
30.
We're going into the unfinished DLC. Okay.
30.
Fine. 30. Corrects it to 30.
Thank you. Continue.
He gets a little
I'm gonna-
07 emoji in return.
Yeah, and then he's messaging someone else. But he is rolling sleight of hand to try and hide that.
Who is he messaging?
Not very high.
rolling, I'm rolling perception. I'm so sorry, Juby.
Yeah. He's not messaging anyone else who would be immediately helpful.
Jubilee.
He types out a quick message of, is this what it's like to be reckless and a hero? And sends it off to Raven. And then immediately shoves his plot device back up his hat, which is functioning as his hammer space at the moment. Is like,
Okay,
nope,
that one's fair.
you didn't see anything.
I did not see a thing. You don't need a... No, I'll stay out of that. That is your biological father. You can tell Tome is actually a little pissed at this conversation, at that.
I'm allowed to message him.
I
don't know
am
whatever
not
beef is
stopping
between you 2.
It's a lot. But he is your father, so go ahead. Let's just open the door, okay?
There, you can have your superiority in being taller than my biological.
It's not about... We're not doing this right now, Jubilee. You gave me a time limit. And Tome is going to move to open the door this time.
And again, the handle is cold and heavy, and it has this feeling of this isn't ready yet. But
he doesn't stop.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the door swings open. And the room inside is, at first glance, it's a bedroom. It's warm, the same as everywhere else has been, but here you find the source of that warmth, because off to one side there is a fireplace with a warm golden fire crackling in the hearth. And there is the smell of poppies and of lavender and of chamomile tea. And there is a record player on the little table next to the dark green moth-eaten armchair that sits at the end of the bed next to the fireplace. On the little table that's beside it, there's a record player, and it's playing very, very soft music. Not that either of these characters would know this, but it is playing very soft jazz covers of Disney songs without the words.
Aww.
And
the...
Oh my god.
I'm sorry, I have to bring some levity to the situation.
Politely wax you.
I eat weapon.
There are 2 windows on the same wall as the fireplace, both of which look out over what is finally a proper view of what's outside. But you'd have to actually go and look at that to see that. There's an easel in one corner, but then here's where it gets weird. Because it isn't wholly like what I have sent in this photo here. The rug is there, and the floors are the same, and the furniture is mostly the same, but where the bed is,
Know it.
there is instead a coffin. Metal on the bottom, glass on the top. The metal is etched with flowers. And there are chains. Very heavy looking chains wrapped around the coffin.
Tome is running towards that. No hesitation.
Yeah.
And inside, there is pitch black ink. And then, sort of half asleep, floating inside in this pool of pitch black, well, you can assume it is, or at one point was, Yuu Aodien's, but there is so very little left of that body. It looks like any skin or muscle tissue has long been eaten away by cold or by frostbite, and you can see faint scratches on the inside of the glass where those hands have pressed up against it. And he's breathing, but it is very, very shallow.
You, can you hear me?
There's no response.
Okay. Jubilee?
Juby.
I will be okay. And that's all the warning Tome gives before he casts Detect Thoughts.
Oh boy!
Let me roll at Wisdom again.
Ugh.
Oh, he didn't make it that time.
Damn.
It's fine. He just kind of grabs his head. Oh, gosh, knew the good luck was good as the last. And there's a little bit of blood from his nose, but he has casted Detect Thoughts and is just diving right in.
Okay.
And underneath the glass, those eyes fly open. And there's a startled gasp of breath. And in the real world, back in the world that you both have left behind, the you that is puppeted by the servant freezes in place. And those eyes are open, and there is a short gasp for air and a movement like trying to sit up, except it doesn't work because there's glass in the way and he hits his head, and that's ow. But then he blinks and he sees you and he presses his hand up against the glass.
I told you I'd find a way here. Didn't I? And he kind of gives the most smallest comforting smile that he can.
How? What the hell?
I told you. I'm a stubborn little thing.
Apparently so. I
even have company. He kind of nods towards Jubilee.
Fuck.
I told you! Teach you to question me.
Can you tell him to say hi?
You says hi. The real you. This you.
You can call me Yura. That's what my family called me at home.
Yura. That's a beautiful name, Yura.
Thanks.
Of course. No, Yura. And Tome's gonna give me a second. I'm gonna see what I can do about these chains. I already know out of character he ain't gonna get far. But character, let him live his stupidity. Tome's gonna roll an investigation on the chains, if that's okay with you.
Go ahead. This is actually going to give you guys advantage in the finale, so go for it.
I looked around and found out, but hey, never punished.
Oh my god.
21.
There are. Hang on, let me do math. 7 plus 6. 6?
That's
6.
23.
No.
Wait, 7. No, that's 13. 7 plus 6,
Yeah.
not 17 plus.
Yeah,
Yes, 23. Sorry.
there are 13 locks holding these chains in place, and each one looks different and artfully made and has innumerable amounts of detail in it. There's one that is etched with symbols of playing cards and roses and has a heart shape to it. There's one that's shaped a little bit more like a skull and holds the lock portion of it in between its teeth. There's a there's a lock that looks like it's been clawed at by some kind of wild animal. There's words.
Mm-hmm.
There are 13 of these. 13 of these individual locks, and some of them how do I put this? I think you guys recognize Jubilee, you recognize one of them. And
Yeah.
that is the one that has ornate gears sticking out of the sides of it that click and turn and twist together, and has a coiled dragon around the center of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tome, you recognize that one, and you also recognize one that is carved with that has 2 angel wings flanking the keyhole and a little crown on the top of it and a familiar pattern of question marks.
Ooh. Tome is scrambling for his keys.
I think Juvie grabs Tome's arm while Tome reaching for the keys. And he doesn't look at his father. Because of course he doesn't. But he's looking between Yura, or what's left of the person who he thought was one of his best friends. He doesn't quite know anymore.
I was waiting for that realization.
He hopes. He does, but he also looks at that very familiar lock and looks Tome just, well, doesn't look. Looks between the lock and your, with a tight grip on Tome's, just, we don't have enough to let them out.
But we can take care of the 2, and then... And I'm gonna roll
then
an
what?
intellect. I'm gonna roll an intellect, okay?
Mm-hmm.
No, he doesn't connect the dots. That's a 4 on the dice, so that's gonna be a 8 in total. And then I don't know, okay? But at least it's 2 off, and then maybe when he kind of turns towards you, do you know where we could get more keys, you? I have 2 of them.
He nods, and in your head, Tome, you hear, I have the others. Or the thing that pretends to be me has the others.
Okay, so just gotta take it from it. That's easy. And he turns to Jubilee. He
And
says that
there is a soft laugh from behind you. Not quite as easy as you'd think, good sir.
Tome is pulling out the rapier.
Yeah, as Wisp very swiftly transforms and blade ignites. And Juby points his sword at that familiar voice who he despises.
Tome is snarling, because is that the same voice from the interview?
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm.
There is...
Oh.
There is a... Oh shit, I lost his character sheet. That's annoying. I don't have that with me.
He's a bastard, that's who he is.
Yeah, there is a tall, real kind Eladrin man wearing a coat with details of pitch black crow's feathers and a mask that looks like the skull of a bird. And Tome, you finally figure out the place where you've seen that shade of yellow before. Because it's in this man's eyes.
Tome has a hand in front of Jubilee, and he is handing me the stupidest thing he's done yet.
Oh no.
What?
He's going to try and put a key in.
Oh my god.
He doesn't know how much time they have.
Okay.
World, you could stop him. I can change what he does.
I have notes for this. Which key does he do?
He does Minimies.
Okay. Roll me wisdom. Roll me a wisdom save.
Oh no.
Ha ha! He isn't.
26. Oh okay.
Jesus. Okay.
Tome voice. Fuck you, plot.
You feel a sudden wave of cold and exhaustion wash over you, but you are so in it at this moment. You are so fucking incandescent in this moment that it slides off you like water off a duck's back. And that lock snaps open and falls. And the man in front of you raises an eyebrow. Well, more resilient than I thought, but...
Oh, don't even try me. And Tome's gonna try and put in the other key.
No. Oh my god. Fuck. Well, he's doing that. Juby is still panicking.
Wisdom
He's
again?
here. Mm-hmm.
Tome,
No!
Go on,
Okay,
Star.
it wasn't a 26, but it was a dirty 20.
Okay.
Yep, that, again, you're still... There's still the lingering effects of the other one. I'm guessing you're going for Jubilees now.
Yep, that's the only other key he has. Besides his master key, which he will not be trying just yet, but push him enough, mister, and he's so angry in my head right now.
And there is, again, a similar feeling of a burst of emotion and sensation. In this case, it's intense and overwhelming guilt, and a feeling of decay. But again, you shrug it off. And this man in front of you just sort of laughs and shakes his head and says, well, you've used up all your keys. What exactly do you plan to do now, detective?
Do you really want the answer to that?
Please. I'd be happy
Tome,
to hear what you think you can do.
There's a bunch of options, but so far, just trying things is working. And does Tome still have that third key?
He does.
You said it's a skeleton key, correct?
Well, here's the thing.
That's a very important question, because if whether or not it is will change what he's about to do.
I will say this. It is not a skeleton key, but looking at the shape of it, the sort of outline of it in your palm, because now it is... You can see that it is just a black key, but it matches one of the locks. It matches the plain, undecorative black iron lock that rests right over Yu's heart.
Tome's gonna put it in, and he's gonna turn.
Fuck.
Roll me a wisdom save.
Yeah.
Okay, finally it caught up with him.
Yeah, well, Tome is doing
make
all
it.
this shit for the record. Juby has since pushed
Actually-
himself in front.
I'm gonna do something, if you allow me,
You
Whirl.
don't have to. That
It
still
passes?
makes it.
Oh, thank goodness,
Oh
I
my
don't have to use
God.
bits of chaos then.
It just barely makes it, and this one... okay. Because it just barely makes it, there is this sensation. This one hits you harder. And I think it makes sense, given the emotion
I had a
that it is.
feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is this crushing, terrified feeling of hopelessness that crackles through your entire body like you've been hit with lightning.
Yeah.
And it comes along with a flood of just terror, of so many thoughts, of realization, of fear that you might be doomed, of realization that there's nothing you can do against it, that even your best plan isn't going to stand up to this.
Important question.
Hmm.
What do I have to roll for Tome to realize that's Yu's lock?
Roll me insight.
No! Not one!
I will remind you, you have your mirror crystal.
He also has bits of chaos. We're gonna use bits of chaos first because mirror crystal has to be done beforehand. 2! You know what? I could take a 2. Because the modifier could save a 2.
My God.
The DC was a 10, so...
You would have
Yeah.
made it either way, but that one's your automatic failure, so that wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah, with a 15. Yep, that... There is that realization of... Oh. That's Yu's lock.
And you, because the connection's still there, you get the little mental voice in its tones, and it's very quiet. You're not alone, and you're going to be okay. It's not over. Not over.
And he can tell his words have reached you, but there is no response. And
Tome.
Grim Crowley tilts his head and smiles and says, "Ah, so that's how you found out."
Tome kind of turns the other Grim Crowley, and he kind of sneers as he has his rapier readied again. You are even more annoying in person.
I do aim to impress.
Not exactly.
Quite failing then.
I'm
You're
sorry,
not even
you
the
both
serious.
spoke at the same time.
Yeah.
I couldn't hear you.
Which is in character, let's be honest. You go first, Noodle, then I'll explain.
Juby's wasn't. His words were not exactly impressive.
Tome's words was, well, you're quite failing at that. Father and son, Your Honor.
They're just roasting his ass.
Mm-hmm.
You're not even the scariest thing I've seen this month.
My dear, I do not intend to be frightening. My kind are creatures of beauty. I understand that...
You're pretty?
Well, I
Tome
try
turns to
be.
Jubilee. You think that? You know, I was really thinking, Jubilee, you know, maybe if you like put on an extra bit of makeup, you know, got some extra
Tome?
sleep. What do you think?
Tome, I
Yes?
love you. I love you. Shut the fuck up.
Oh. We really have to
Shut
talk
the
about your
fuck up.
genres. Okay,
No.
fine.
Shut the fuck up in front of the Fae! He is very pointedly like, stop talking. That's one of the... This is me saying he doesn't say that's one of the fair folk, but it is obvious
Okay.
that it is. Dude!
Okay. Fine. It's more your area?
Thank you. The obvious is still... Stop fucking saying shit!
Tom just kind of raises an eyebrow but keeps his mouth shut.
Yeah, Juby is mentally panicking because, oh, fuck. Yeah, where is Crowley? Just saying.
Crowley
'Cause
is
they're-
standing by the door.
Yeah, that's what he thought. And he kind of, like, says, like, motions for Tome to pick up that, this guy is between us and the exit.
Oh, do not worry. I have no intention of keeping you here. Truly, I am the most generous. I will forgive your slight. But I must ask, how exactly did you find your way down here?
Tome opens his mouth!
And he gets whacked with that leather and metal wing. As Jubilee just... He hisses at Crowley, but he is keeping his mouth shut. You don't talk, you don't find out info. Fuck you. He knows this. You get caught by the cops, you don't say shit. This is that situation. Don't talk.
And Crowley closes the door behind him, and you hear a lock click into place. And he strides forward and runs a hand over the coffin.
Tome would have tried to stab his hand first. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Roll to attack.
Okay, what's your modifier on that? Because you're a little angry, I guess.
Tome.
24.
Your son is trying so hard to damage control, Tome.
24. Okay, roll your damage.
Yes!
Tome.
I am so sorry, Jubilee! Okay, let me make sure I got that one right. Close of cold. Where are you? Where are you?
Oh my god.
D6. Got it. I am so sorry.
You're fine. 14. Okay. Yeah, you stab out with your sword and it pierces right through this guy's hand. And he clicks his tongue and he almost sounds disappointed and says, "Now, really, there's no need for any of that. And I need you to make me a wisdom saving throw."
Don't lay a hand on him. But I will make that wisdom saving throw. Tome is gonna crush one of the gems, actually. Actually, no, this would be bits of chaos afterwards, so let's see how we roll. Yeah, we're using bits of chaos. Wait, no, he would have crushed a gem because we already used bits of chaos on the other.
You don't crush them to use them.
Oh, he absorbs it. Words!
You get 3 uses of it a day.
Okay.
It's not
he uses one of the words. I'm being yelled at in the gallery.
Deep breaths.
I'm being bullied.
Okay. 16 isn't gonna make it. Tome, your entire body is frozen over as sickly golden yellow lines, like puppet strings, wrap around you and hold you in place.
Shit.
Hmm.
Shit.
Calm down, Juby.
If that's what I think it is, I don't think Tome can talk.
He has been hold personed.
Yeah, Tome, you can't talk. I know how this works. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Crowley casts a look towards Jubilee, and there is the sensation of a raised eyebrow and an amused smile of, now are you going to be a problem too?
I need to roll something because he is going to. Yeah. Delightful. Thanks, Juby.
Mm-hmm.
He is still looking between the coffin and Tome and his sword, and he sighs and releases the white knuckle grip he had on his sword as Wisp transforms back to the terror form that it has.
There's a good lad. And he removes. So it's not that he, takes Tome's sword or makes Tome's arm move to pull the sword back, as it is, he just pulls his hand back and lets the sword cut through to free his hand.
Yeah. Juby is. He has a poker face, and still, looks entirely disgusted with Lee. He is. Yeah, it is thinly veiled contempt and loathing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's no secret that the outline of what was avian in nature now perfectly matches the draconic outline of the other side. As he just stands and glares.
Crowley sighs and shakes his head and looks at the two chains that were held by the locks that Tome has opened already. He clicks his tongue and says, well, no skin off my back, I suppose. It just means I get what I want faster. But my, oh my, the prefect is not going to be happy. And he chuckles and shakes his head. And he runs a hand over that last lock. And Tome had successfully opened it. But unlike the others, which snapped and fell away when they were opened, this one just popped open. And now it closes again. And he smiles and says, honestly, given your experiences, I expected you two, of all people, would understand the role my perfect noble flower has to play. That is the point of flowers, after all.
So much hatred in Tome's eyes right now.
That is the
Can
point.
he speak yet?
Let me villain monologue and then...
Yeah, monologue.
Then he can speak. That is the point of flowers, after all. They fulfill their purpose, and then they die. He smiles and says, I was so lucky to be successful on my first attempt. Truly, I have skill beyond compare at finding people.
Your plan is so master. How does undoing the locks contribute? Is that not setting you back?
Of course not. all you'd be doing is tearing this place apart faster. And by all means, if you'd like to, go right ahead. And you are both free to roll insight.
Mm-hmm. Oh, thank you for rolling high, Jubilee.
Is he lying? This is an important question.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Then that makes it a minimum 8.
Yeah. He says this. And there is a tightness about his smile. This man is bluffing.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of smiles and says, but I imagine you'd have a fair bit of trouble. After all, without my servant's assistance, there's no way you could get all of them. You both feel far too much, and you don't have anywhere near enough keys. If I were you, I would not return to this place. After all, why would you want to prolong your suffering, his suffering, the suffering of countless others by stopping this poison from being erased? We all must make sacrifices in our time. And I'm certain that my dear Flower would find it quite the honor if he were only thinking clearly. After all, I gave him so much more to do than he ever would have achieved.
I have to thank you for this, so you're well. Because now I know, when this truly comes to its head, that I'm going to kill you.
My boy, you can try. And
Like my odds. And that's all he says.
he chuckles and says, we'll see when it comes down to it. But really now, you should both wake up before you forget how. And he clicks his fingers, and there is a feeling like somebody has hooked a fish hook into your insides and yanked you back.
Whee! Sorry.
And I will give you enough time to say something each if you would like. Because I know Spec wanted to say something.
Mm-hmm.
It's changed. Tome doesn't say anything to Crowley, unlike before, what he was going to say. Instead, Yuu gets one message. We'll be back, and you'll be okay.
And then you are back in the real world. You are both awake. And you, or the thing that pretends to be him, is standing near you and setting 2 cups of hot cocoa on the table.
Tome just kind of sits there for a moment before he puts his head in his hands, and he just starts to cry.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Judy wakes up, takes the hot cocoa and thanks. And he sits, moves, couches, sit next to Tome. And kind of pats the other side of him on the couch for you to sit down. Even if it's... Sorry,
go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say that even if this is just a puppet, just a doll, This is who he made friends with. I can't quite let go of that yet.
And it does still draw from the real Yuaudians.
Mm-hmm.
Tome heard how you described it. It's a dream, but they are still friends, to some extent.
Mm-hmm.
To the extent that you are friends with anyone you meet in a dream, and sometimes those are the closest friendships you ever have. So, having been given a direction, he sits down next to them.
Yeah, and one wing goes around his father, and the other wing around his potion button. Oh boy. He does not say shit. He just drinks the hot cocoa. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You will look over at Tome, and he looks concerned, and he asks, "What happened? Are you okay?"
I'll be all right. I need to get help. I don't want to do this alone. So I've got to get help. And even if I've proven I'm not the best at thinking things through around in that situation, so even if I can't go back there myself, I'm going to make sure others know where to go.
Oh my god. Why the bird clock right now? I'm so sorry. Bird clock, no. I'm so sorry. I completely ruined the moment. I'm sorry.
You will pick up the cup of hot cocoa he made for Tome and push it into his hands to sort of give him something warm to anchor him with. I think the real me, appreciates that. But I know both of us. I know it's my directive to make sure you take care of yourself first, and I know he wouldn't want you to get yourself hurt in the process.
And that's why I don't plan on going back yet. Why don't we just enjoy some hot chocolate and take some time?
You nods.
And, I'll fix the door.
Good
Please.
idea. And fix that shoe print while you're at it.
Please,
I
my
don't-
landlord has not been pleased with me.
Well, okay. I don't know if the boot will stay or go. I'm sorry. It's a gag now. I don't control those.
It's okay.
Is it?
I think so.
You don't have to answer that. Oh. Well,
I don't mind it, and landlords suck.
yeah.
Landlords can go eat a
Again.
shoe.
I mean, still, the offers ever out there want me to just find that and just punch them in the face just for the hell of it. They won't know, but you will.
You want to punch my landlord?
Yeah, because landlords suck. Also, I'm already a criminal. Just me randomly punching someone out of the blue would not be out of the question. And also because, if they're being a shitty landlord for you, I'm, obligated as your friend to fuck shit up.
I'll take a rain check on that.
Alright. Offers there.
I would prefer if you just fix the door for now.
Fine, I'll fix the door.
Thank you.
He'll get up. Obviously, making more of a show out of it than he has to. But he's going to be overdramatic and wander over and will fix the door. He still has use of restore. He will fix the door. It won't be in pieces.
And Yu looks over to Tome and just... He didn't kick it this time. He body slammed right through it.
True.
Well, I'm sorry that I had to get places very quickly, and I wasn't certain if just kicking the door open would work. I was in a bit of a rush.
Understandable. Have a nice.
And besides, Tome can't tell anyone else about it, otherwise I'd put the picture in the group chat.
Oh, shoot. Yu just rolls his eyes and says, "You will do no such thing." I read your text messages. I'm fairly certain you made an agreement not to.
You're a dick.
I am fair.
Meh. Meh. Fine.
And do we want to pan out from here?
I think that would be good.
All right. Thank you, everybody, very much for listening. This went in several directions that I wasn't expecting. But,
Woo.
oh boy, it sure did happen. Everybody say goodbye to our lovely listeners. Goodbye, listeners.
Bye-bye.
Bye.